Check, check, 1, 2. Are we live? Are we live already? Tell me, are we live? Are we live? I gotta know, are we live? Oh, it looks like it. Yeah, we are. I love it. Live indeed, live indeed. All right. Let me just get all these things going, all these things wrapped up. We got a nice one for y'all today. We got a very, very nice one. And, yeah, how's your day been? Did you get a lot accomplished? Did you use any of the new words that you learned? Did you use Kismet? Let's see, just loading it all up. Got some new music in the background. Got some good times happening. All right, let's see. Oh, we got to load up the chat. We got to make sure the chat's nice and fresh. Give me that chat thing. This one. We got it going. All right, so everybody from every single platform.
The chat is ready to display messages.
Yeah, absolutely. Bam, and we are ready. All right, y'all, let's do this. Let's get the ball rolling. Time is short. Perfect timing, this music. Let's do it. All right, ladies, if you've ever said, maybe God has someone for me, and then immediately DM'd a man who treats you like a push notification, tonight is for you. Because the word Kismet isn't a permission slip for chaos. Kismet is the moment life taps your shoulder and you decide whether you answer with wisdom or wishful thinking. Levels are good, levels are good. Let's drop this audio a little bit. Nice. And we got some really good news with like the live stream. We got some awesome things coming up, so make sure you stay tuned, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Yeah, so stay to the end after the quotes and the real life Kismet moments. We do AMA, which is Ask Me Anything, and I'll answer the questions people only ask their best friend or their priest or their therapist, depending on the week. So hit like so this reaches one more good woman. Subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next live. Type Kismet in the chat if you're choosing peace over plot. So tonight is a 3-story act. First, 10 brand new Kismet quotes for good women to find and keep good men. And then second, 10 brand new real life Kismet situations. These are like copy and paste lines you can actually use. And then third is the AMA, Ask Me Anything. And type quote if you want the quotes now, type situation if you want the real world lines now, and type AMA before your questions. And we can get to the AMA section. But anyways, quote number 10 is the end of the movie line. Don't leave early. All right, so we have 10 brand new Kismet quotes. Let's do it. Quote number 1. Kismet is the hush before the blessing, when your heart stops begging and your standards start praying. Type hush if that one resonates with you. Quote number 2. Kismet is a holy interruption. The right man enters your story and your peace does not evacuate. Type peace in the chat if that one resonates with you. Oh, let's see. We are live now. Very nice. Love it. Quote number 3. Kismet is the difference between he's charming and he is chosen because character survives daylight. Type daylight in the chat if this one resonates. Quote number 4. Kismet is when your love becomes a virtue. Patient without being permissive. Kind without being naive. Type virtue in the chat if this one resonates with you. Quote number 5. Kismet is not a chase scene. It's a covenant-minded calm that makes two people move with honor. Chat. Type honor in the chat if that one resonates. All right, quote number 6. Kismet is the moment you stop confusing butterflies with alarms and you listen to the calm in your chest. Type calm if that one resonates. Let's see, one sec. Where did this, there it is. All right, that's good. We got that one there. Very cool, very cool. Quote number 7. Kismet keeps a good man when your words build shelter, not weather. Type shelter in the chat if this one resonates with you. Quote number 8. Kismet is the grace of timing when you meet him after you've learned to say no without guilt. Type no in the chat if this one resonates. Quote number 8. All right, now quote number 9. Kismet is when a good woman's warmth meets a good man's steadiness, and neither one has to shrink. Type steady in the chat if this one resonates with you. And we are ready for the closer. Quote number 10. Kismet is love with a backbone. A good man is kept by admiration, protected by boundaries, and honored by truth. Type backbone if you're built like that. All right, comment your favorite quote 1 through 10 right now. If you picked quote number 6, congratulations, you just uninstalled Toxic Chemistry, the app. All right, now we are to part 2 of the live stream. We have 10 brand new real world Kismet situations. Situation number 1. You meet him while doing something generous, like volunteering, helping family, or serving. You say, maybe this is Kismet because good men notice good hearts in motion. Absolutely true. Men do notice that. And Destiny loves a woman who's not just posting. She's actually doing life, making those things happen. All right, for situation number 2, he invites you into his world with clarity, plans plus follow through. You say, Kismet feels like clarity. Thank you for making it easy to trust you. Clear plans are romantic. Confusion is just cardio with feelings. All right, situation number 3. He speaks well of others, no gossip, appetite. You say, this is Kismet. I can tell because your mouth doesn't destroy people. Yeah, the strength. All right, some men talk like they're auditioning for drama. This one talks like he has a conscience. You definitely want a conscience. Conscience. Situation number 4. You're tempted to ignore a small disrespect because he's attractive. You tell yourself, Kismet never asked me to shrink my dignity. Pretty faces don't pay emotional bills. Don't finance disrespect. How do I make this one pop out? Let me see. Or do we have it over here already? Oh, we do have it. All right, so this is that. Okay, I see. But I need that one though. Okay. Organization is so important for your life, you know? Just always need to be organized. Yeah, all right, back to situation number 4 before I got distracted. You're tempted to ignore a small disrespect because he's attractive. Kismet never asks me to shrink my dignity. Pretty faces don't pay emotional bills, don't finance disrespect. All right, that one is worthy of a repeat. Situation number 5. He has a hard week and you want to support without becoming his therapist. You say, Kismet check, do you want prayer, presence, or problem solving? 3 options, 1 man, no guesswork, revolutionary. All right, situation number 6. You feel anxious and start making up stories. You say, before I accuse, Kismet demands I ask, what's true? Your imagination is talented, but it is not licensed. All right, situation number 7. He apologizes cleanly and repairs. No ego duel. You say, Kismet loves repair. Thank you for choosing us over pride. A real apology is rarer than a quiet group chat, which is absolutely 100% correct. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, situation number 8. You're deciding whether he is husband material. You ask, if this is Kismet, what does faithfulness look like to you in real life? If he answers like a grown man, that's not Kismet. That is a miracle with manners. All right, situation number 9. You're in a good relationship and you want to keep it strong. You say Kismet deserves maintenance, gratitude, laughter, and one honest check-in every week. Sounds decent enough, right? Love is romantic and also suspiciously similar to taking care of a garden. Neglect it and suddenly you're dating weeds. All right, situation number 10. You need to set a boundary without becoming cold. You say, Kismet can't grow where disrespect lives. I'm warm, but I'm not available for that. Boundaries aren't attitude. They're spiritual and emotional seatbelts. All right, type the situation number 1 through 10 that you needed most. All right, so here is part 3 of the AMA. Yeah, so it's available for anyone to ask me anything. All right, let's go with the first one. And also, if you want to stay anonymous, you can just send me messages on my Instagram and I will read them and try to answer them live on the stream. Excuse me, hold on. Where'd you go? There you are. Bam. Nice. Yeah, we got this little rotating logo. How does it look? It looks decent. Looks pretty cool. Liking it. All right, so what's the most underrated sign a man is genuinely good, not just charming? Genuinely good, not just charming. I guess you got to think about those things that are important to you and what you consider good. And figure that out. And I think when someone is charming, it's pleasurable to be around, you know? But when someone is actually good, I think their behavior in multiple situations reflects that. Their character, you know, how kind are they? Are they sincere to you, your family, to neighbors, to, you know, people in general? Or are they just kind of sincere for the moment, for a gain? What about like those genuine actions that benefit others? That's a pretty important thing to understand too. And Do those genuine actions make people feel good, flattered, more engaged? That's kind of, that's a great question. Love it. All right. Where are we at? How do I tell the difference between a man pursuing and a man performing? A man pursuing will probably be asking you questions to see if you're like the right fit. And a man performing would be showing you the reason he's so amazing. Flexing, ego dancing, ego somersaults, ego gymnastics, all those things. That's the difference. And a man pursuing would be kind, obviously hype himself up a little bit, but also hype you up and figure out if that's a correct fit between the two of you. That's an amazing question, right? What do I do if I'm attracted to men who are exciting but unsafe? If someone's exciting but unsafe, you're flirting with danger. And that's okay as long as you're okay with like having some broken bones or doing time and having something bad on your record, you know, if they're unsafe. But think about what you're attracted to and what parts you're actually attracted to them, like which parts within the excitement. Is it the physical aspect, the communication aspect, the social aspect? Like what is it that you're attracted to? And then find that in a safe man, you know? Safe man your argument. Oh, we got a special little jump in section after this AMA revolving around the word straw man, which is fun. How can a woman be soft and feminine without being a doormat? Yeah, soft and feminine women are super strong. That's a good one. But you being a doormat or not being a doormat kind of revolves around the type of dude you're with. If you're with a bad guy, you could be a strong, masculine woman and you'll still become a doormat. I think it depends on that. Also, what you allow in your boundaries, what you expect, how you treat that person. You know, if you treat that person like a doormat, you're like, I don't know why he's treating me like a doormat. I just treat him like a doormat. Well, there you go. That might be one of the reasons, you know, not to offend anyone, but yeah, that's kind of the thing. And women are naturally soft and feminine, so like dig into that and be your true self. And if someone's treating you like a doormat, figure out the reason, and then figure out if the juice is worth the squeeze. Often it is not. What's the best way to talk about faith, values, and future without sounding intense? Do it in a soft, feminine way. And those are important things, you know, talking about faith, super important. Do you guys get along in that dimension of values? Extremely important. What do you value? What do I value? And the future. The future is super important. You got to plan for the future. You got to make sure that you have an amazing teammate right next to you, right in front of you, right behind you, all those types of things. Yeah. And it is an intense topic, so yeah, you don't want to scare anyone away, I guess, but I guess being clear, calm, feminine, and soft, and also very, very directed and focused on your questions. Whenever you come in, have at least 3 questions in your mind. 1, 2, 3, you got those. Or even have like a notepad like it's an interview process, or do something, figure something out where figure out what's the most important, and I guess ease into it maybe. You know, if you ask some heavy questions on like a first date within the first 3 seconds, you're like, haha, yeah, I don't know, this girl's getting a little bit too intense, but it depends, you never know. I think the best thing is to be yourself 100%. How do I recover after I've picked wrong in the past and I'm ashamed of it? Don't be ashamed. It's all a learning process. You're not losing, you're learning. No time to lose, just time to learn. You don't need to be ashamed of your past. Own your past and learn from it. And don't let your past ruin you. Whether that's past relationships, the past of your family, anything. But if you keep on making the same mistakes like you did in the past, then you're kind of not really changing route or changing directions. So you gotta figure out something like grabbing your phone and putting a new address in your Google Maps, you know? Go into the land of correct decisions rather than going into the land of wrong decisions. Reroute your GPS. But that's a cool one. That's a cool one. What's a respectful way to ask about this relationship with accountability? Money, habits, integrity. Accountability is the obligation to take ownership of actions, decisions, and consequences, ensuring transparency and reliability in personal, professional, and public contexts. Money, habits, integrity. Okay, so like being transparent with your money, habits, and integrity. Yeah, I think it's important because your habits are gonna surface anyways, regardless. So if you're not being completely honest with your relationship with your habits, he's probably not gonna be honest with his relationship with his habits, his money, his integrity. But if you're honest with those things, I think he will be. And you don't need to think about a respectful way to like approach this. Just slap it on the table and see what happens. You know, like, how are you with money? Do you know how to save money? Do you know how to invest money? What type of dude are you, right? What did your mother teach you about money? What did your father teach you about money? What are some of your biggest money mistakes? All right, there you go, you got the money thing. Habits. Did you pick up any habits from your mom, from your dad, from your brother, from your sister, from your cousin, from your uncle? What type of habits do you have? What type of hobbies do you have? Do you have a criminal record? What's your credit score? Think about, you know, those questions. Not a bad thing to ask. You want to know about like their past money situations, their past habits, and their integrity is a huge one. I think that's a very, very big one that a lot of people overlook. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong principles, uprightness, the state of being whole and undivided. So, yeah, integrity is extremely important, extremely important. And since we have, we're streaming towards multiple platforms, just want to give you guys a little idea of what we're doing. We're going live every single day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. But yeah, ask him about his integrity. And does he stay true to his word? Is he agile? Can he change his mind about certain things? Like if you think he's not correct or he is correct, how does that change benefit both of you in the relationship? Pretty important right there. All right, great question. And huge words, huge words. How do I stop, previous question, I know all these words. How do I stop auditioning and start being my authentic self on dates? There you go. You're already on the right path. Authentic self. Just be your authentic self. 100%, you know. I guess don't do what you would do in the bathroom in front of him. You know, if you got some gas, walk away and let it go. You don't want to ruin his nostril hairs. But be your authentic self and still be classy, soft, and feminine. No reason not to. And enjoy. You know, I think part of the process is enjoyment and discovery. And you constantly learn things about yourself every single day. And it's okay to learn. You don't have to be perfect on the first go, so don't worry and figure out what your authentic self is. You know, sometimes people are like, oh, I don't even know what my authentic self is. Sometimes it's good to like go someplace quiet for like 5 or 10 minutes, sit down, relax, close your eyes, and think about some of the problems that you have, and just think about solutions. Or if you're trying to find yourself, start questioning yourself about those things and think about what types of things you want to find within yourself, and work on those things. Just become your authentic self on a date and have fun. All right, let's go on. What's one habit that keeps love strong when life gets stressful? Ooh, I think it's having that like filter, that extra resilience to not let the stress of life get you. Yeah, just figure out what keeps your love strong and keep those like key pillars within your life, and don't let anything ruin your love together, you know, because life always gets stressful. Bills come into play, work, children, if you're blessed by children, projects, everything gets in the way. But if you want to keep love strong, there you go. You already got it. You're on the first step. Just keep on going. Keep on going. Keep that love strong. What's the cleanest way to end things when he's not a bad person? Just not my person. Nice and fast. Give that person compliments on what they're good at and how amazing you think their future will be if you're honest about it. Be like true and authentic, and just say, you know what? I don't think you're my person. Like, I hope that doesn't offend you. Does it offend you? If it offends you, say, okay, well, there you go. Another reason you're not my person. If it doesn't offend you, see, look, you have a great personality, a great character. I like you as a person, but just not my person. And that's an easy way to go. Like, just be straight up. And also, it saves you time, saves him time. It saves everything. That's a great one. Yeah. Kismet is not him watching your story. That's not fate. That's boredom. Bam. If you need 3 friends, 2 screenshots, and a spreadsheet to understand him, Kismet is not involved. Oh. Knowledge fired. Knowledge fired. Some of y'all call it Kismet when it's actually just chemistry with a warning label. Yeah. Who can relate to that one? A good man is not a project. IKEA is a project. A man should arrive assembled with instructions he actually follows. Type cardio if you're done chasing. Type assembled if you're done building men from scratch. All right. If this live gave you clarity, peace, or even one line you can use, like so YouTube sends it to more good women. Subscribe. Hit notifications so you catch the next live instantly. Share this with one friend who needs standards with warmth. And comment Kismet if you want tomorrow's live. All right. Kismet may open the door, but wisdom decides who gets welcomed in. All right, y'all. And then for our surprise session, we got a surprise session, which is kind of fascinating to me. You know what? Since I'm here, let me do this. I'm gonna move these things around a little bit. Bam! Get my head all big. What's up, Mr. Big Head? Move this here. Might as well. And I'll move this thing right there. How's that? That's all right. I've seen better. I've seen worse. So cool. I guess I wonder if like this stuff is okay. Changing. Let's see how far that is. All right. We got leap plans in the hair. All right. What is a straw man? So this is a cool one. A straw man argument is when someone misrepresents your actual position. So they misrepresent your actual position, then attacks that weaker, distorted version instead of your real argument. Straw man, it's like arguing against a scarecrow instead of a real person. So that's what a straw man is. Latin root of straw man, the phrase itself is English, not original Latin, but it traces conceptually to straminius, which is Latin, which is made of straw. Also tied to medieval ideas like homo straminius, literally meaning man of straw, a weak or insignificant person. It means something fake, weak, or easily destroyed. What was I gonna do? What happens if how do I delete this thing? Show, hide, turn off. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna write a note here. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share with a friend. Oh, you know what? Why is, oh, I see. Yeah, all right, so my chat is not working for some reason. Come on, chat, what you doing? Yo, Flaming Warrior 7870, thank you for joining in on the chat. Yes. Thank you. Oh, it is, it's popping up. I love it. That's amazing. Sharing the good words, I love that. That's just absolutely incredible. But let's see something. Okay. Launch this thing.
The chat is ready to display messages. We have to follow the Sabbath day as Christians. It doesn't make sense for Christ to say not to. It's a moral absolute that never changes. It's a perfect law that even he, our example, kept. Dude 4:2. We must not listen to people who don't use any logic when it comes to the word of God. God is very logical. Jesus' title, the word literally means logic in Greek. John 1:1. We need to have the fear of God in our lives. It will help us to not do evil against him. Absolutely. We all need to believe and repent. You don't want God angry on Judgment Day with you. Proverbs 1:7 Rev 20:11-15.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Well done. Thank you so much. Flame Warrior Golden 7870 for joining in on the chat. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Oh yeah. All right. Straw man. So I guess, yo, Adam, how you doing, buddy? The Beauty Prophet, how y'all doing? Thank you for joining in on the chat too. Thank y'all. Where is this thing? Here it is. Bam. All right, so what type of technique is a straw man? A straw man is a logical fallacy, specifically a fallacy of misrepresentation, also considered a rhetorical manipulation tactic. The category of it is informal fallacy. It's a debate distortion technique. It's also a psychological persuasion trick. So to give a simple example, person A says, I think we should reduce military spending slightly. Person B strawmans that argument, right? And says, so you want to leave the country defenseless. That's not what A said. That's the distortion. So that's like part of debate distortion tactic of a straw man, which you might have heard in debates recently. All right. Let's see. So because I questioned one decision, now I'm the enemy of everything you stand for. That's an example of a straw man. Or you twisted my words into something easier to destroy. Congratulations, you just won a fight I never started. All right. I asked for balance, you heard betrayal. My goodness, what a strong one, right? You didn't defeat my argument, you replaced it with the weaker one.
Music is a little too loud.
Music's, all right. You replaced it with the weaker one and celebrated. That version of me you're arguing with, I have never met him. Check, check, 1, 2, check, 1, 2. All right, thank you. You built a fake version of my belief just so you could feel strong tearing it down. Another one. You didn't listen, you rewrote me. So you might be hearing this in some of your arguments. It's easy to win when you change the rules of what I said. You're not debating me, you're debating your imagination. So anytime you guys write in the chat, can you guys actually hear what you write in the chat, or is it just me being able to hear that? Let me know, let me know. And also, what if I write something? I think there's a way for text to speak. Where did it go? Where did it go? Nope, nope. Let's see.
I can hear it. Music is much better now.
Okay, but can you hear the text that you guys say on the chat, or you guys cannot hear that? All right.
Yes, I can hear the text being spoken out loud.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. Very cool. Now, we're all part of this collaborative creation. All right, so we got some more straw man examples. We have a diet debate. Person A says, I think people should reduce sugar. And person B says, oh, so you want everyone miserable and eating nothing. So B says you want everyone miserable and eating nothing, which doesn't really correlate accurately to person A saying, I think people should reduce sugar. All right, parenting. Person A says, kids need some discipline. Person B says, so you support being harsh and controlling. All right, we're trying to understand straw man, so here we are, and here we keep going. Politics. Person A says, we should reform healthcare. Person B says, so you want government controlling everything? Okay. We have a work example. Person A says, we should improve work-life balance. Person B says, so you don't care about productivity? Yeah, person A is talking about work-life balance, and then person B is talking about, you don't care about productivity? different things, kind of related, but different things. All right, relationships. Person A, I need more communication. B, so I'm a terrible partner? Yeah. Not talking about communication, just jumping over those hurdles into a different part of the conversation. Fitness, I don't think extreme dieting is healthy. And person B says, so you're saying fitness doesn't matter? All right, number 7, money. Person A says, we should save more. And B says, so we can enjoy life? So we cannot enjoy life at all? Saving money and enjoying life are not a direct correlation. All right, education. Person A says, college isn't the only path. Person B says, so education is useless? No, just said college is not the only path. Where is that? Oh, religion. I have doubts about certain beliefs. Person B says, so you reject everything? All right. Doubts does not mean that person is rejecting everything. Content creation. Person A says, quality matters more than quantity. Person B says, so you're saying consistency doesn't matter? Quality matters more than quantity. That's a huge argument. A lot of content creators talk about that. Quality over quantity. Absolutely. And there's a few other common logical fallacies. Debate techniques. One is the ad hominem. Attack the person, not the argument. You're wrong because you're dumb. That's an example. And then there's the red herring. Distract with irrelevant info. Why talk about taxes when crime exists, right? You see that very, very often, especially with news channels. Red herring everywhere. Red herring, oh, it's a pretty cool story. I think the story behind
sounds like just assuming the worst in someone's POV instead of hearing them out at face value.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. The example of the red herring. So red herring is a type of fish, and bank robbers used to... No, not bank robbers. Those robbers, the train robbers, the ones that used to like rob trains, they used to have fish, and then they would like wipe fish all over like the train box that they would steal from, and then run with the fish the opposite way. And then all the police dogs would like chase the fish, like looking for the red herring, and then they'd find it like far out, and they'd catch the dogs just eating a red herring when the criminals went the other way. So that's kind of the origin of the red herring. Distract with irrelevant info. And the example is, why talk about taxes when crime exists? Two completely different things, different directions in the conversation. Number 3 is a false dilemma. Only 2 options presented. You're either with us or against us. Politics does this extremely often, which is a false dilemma. If you're not a Democrat, I don't like you. If you're not a Republican, I don't like you. That's a false dilemma. You're either with us or against us. And there's a slippery slope, which is another logical fallacy. It's a exaggerated chain reaction. If we allow this, society will collapse. We hear a slippery slope often in the news as well. These are all techniques the news uses, and it's pretty cool if you know about them, just because you know what they're trying to do with all this type of stuff. Yo, how you doing? Thank you for jumping in, appreciate it. Oh, you know what? Let me add something here. Where do I add this thing? Edit. Okay, cancel. Okay, I'm gonna do that after I'm done with this. Cause we're on a roll. Where did you go? 100,000 things going on right now. It's wild, but it's fun. All right, the next one is a hasty generalization. This is jumping to conclusions from small data. One bad example or one bad experience equals all are bad. Not necessarily true. That makes it a hasty generalization. All right, and we have circular reasoning. Argument loops back on itself. It's true because it's correct. That's circular reasoning. And then there's also the appeal to authority. Expert says it, so it's true. We know that with certain things that happened in 2020 that, you know, you can't really use that appeal to authority. Expert says it, so it's true. A lot of people got hurt because of what experts said in a certain year. That's when authority isn't relevant. Appeal to emotion. Use feelings instead of logic. Think of the children. All right. Then we have false analogy. It's a bad comparison. Employees are like nails. They need to be hammered. Let me move this one over. Yeah, that's what a false analogy is. Employees are like nails, they need to be hammered. That's a weird one, right? Cherry picking, only showing favorable evidence. We often see that in the news as well. Burden of proof shift. You prove me wrong. And then we have the bandwagon. Everyone believes it, so it's true, right? Every single person believes it, so it has to be true. Tukuoke. You do it too. It's a hypocrisy attack.
Woman fascipaming. Woman fascipaming. Woman fascipaming. Trust the science DNA. Now they want to regulate our energy and it's like 2020 all over again but an oil crisis. Philippines just declared a state of emergency. Here we go again.
Wild. Didn't know that. That's a wild one. Equivocation, using words with double meanings sometimes works. Loaded question, trap question. Why are you always lying? Yeah, that's a loaded question. So there's no assumption there. It's like a statement question. Why are you always lying? All right. No true Scotsman, changing definition to avoid being wrong. We sometimes see that. Then we have post hoc, false cause. After this, therefore caused by this. Yeah, so that was the little logical fallacy section, which was fun and interesting. I heard someone talking about a straw man debate earlier today, and I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. Let's see if we can work on that thing. Where are we and what are we doing? All right, so I'm gonna try to figure out this for a sec. And this will take just a second. All right, so I'm trying to get like from everything together in one. Oh, here it is, chat settings. filtering. No. It's, oh, 1 sec. All right, so. Oh, I can't get that in there. All right, so I'm gonna have to have 2 windows then, I guess, for this to work properly, which is all right, you know. I've seen worse. And I've heard some jokes about people saying worse things, but yeah, all right, let's smaller that one. Okay. Great. Like it. And the other one, bam, this one is here. Okay. Make this smaller too. Bam. Okay, pull this one up on top. Awesome. Working good. Close. Got too many windows open, so I just close them all. All right. Let's frame it up. See where we're going. Okay. We got some cute puppies over here. Who doesn't like puppies? I think everybody in the world likes puppies. Like, if you don't like puppies, I don't know what to say to you. Just so cute.
I do it.
This is wild. This woman's got some arms on her. She's just throwing them. Let me see that frame. Oh, frame's too big. Come on. What you doing with your life, man? Come on. That's good. What do you guys think about this? This lady is just, which fallacy is she using? Oh my gosh. Challenging a person's character, maybe? She's doing something wild. But, so she just pushes some dude.
Yep.
Did you see that? Bam, pushes the man.
And I do this.
Yes. And this dude's like, I can knock you out, woman. What are you doing? Just do something. You don't mind what I did?
What I did to you, you don't necessarily have to do.
Well, I won't do that to you.
Oh my gosh, dude. He's saying it to her right in her face, right after she pushed him, because she doesn't necessarily care about him. She might not be reflecting everyone from that area, but, you know, seems like she... Oh, man, she's so, like... She's just looking for it. Man, what in the world? Wild woman, dude. I hope you push me back. And then what happens next, you know? Like, she can get hurt, physically hurt. What's she asking for, man? Asking for violence?
Event that happened in
Corporal
Hearst,
Morgan
Texas.
with the Hearst Police Department. Reason why you're getting stopped, you were just driving through a school zone going 40. It's a 25 through there. Do you have your driver's license, proof of insurance with you today? Where y'all heading to this afternoon?
Home.
Coming from?
Why?
Just a question.
That's none of your business.
That's
I'm
none
sorry?
of your business.
It's none of your business.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you have your insurance?
I'm sorry.
Any reason for the hurry this afternoon?
I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't even see a school
Oh, there's a
sign.
flashing signal as you were driving through directly on the side of the roadway. That's good till March. Let me go check on your license. I'll be right back with you. Y'all just stay in the car for me. Okay, Tanisha, you'll be receiving a citation today for the speed. I just need to get a signature from you. This is not an admission of guilt.
I'm not.
It's a promise. You're not going to sign it?
No, I'm not.
That's fine. I'll just
The attitude on this one. I'm not signing that.
put refuse. I need to get the VIN number on the car real quick. I'll enter that. I'll print you your copy and send you on your way. Where's your
He's being kind. He's being nice to the woman. I don't understand what's happening with this woman.
registration sticker on the car?
I just bought this car, so I'm waiting for it.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I'm just asking.
And that attitude. Any more questions? She's looking for violence. She woke up and she's like, I need some violence in my life.
Okay, I
Do you have your bill of sale with the car then?
Okay, I told you. She's giving this guy like attitude, like he's a bad one, a child of hers that is like acting bad. You know, she's just giving him attitude for no reason.
told. No, I don't.
Okay, you should probably carry that with you if you're not going to display your registration sticker.
Well, I wasn't told that, so we might need to get updated on the laws.
All right, give me just a second.
I wasn't told that, so I might need to get updated on the laws.
All right, here's your copy of the citation. As far as the bills, you don't want to take it?
No.
Well, it's going to take it because it's your citation. That's your citation. That's littering. Step out of the car. Citation. That's littering. Step out.
Dude, what happened there?
All right, give me just a second. All right, here's your copy of the citation. As far as the bills, you don't want to take it?
No.
Well, it's going to take it because it's your citation. That's your citation. That's littering.
Oh, so he like dropped it in her car and then she threw it out. Yeah, dude, what? She's asking for it.
Step out of the car. Citation. That's littering. Step out of the car.
Don't
Yes,
do
ma'am.
that.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
walk my
Step
car.
out.
Don't
I'm
you
not
do that.
stepping
Step out.
out.
6963.
Yes.
Step out.
I'm not.
Step out. Step out.
Don't touch
Step
me.
out.
Don't touch me.
Step
Don't
it out.
I'm not stepping
Step
out
out.
of shit. Call
Step
your
out.
motherfucking supervisor.
I am the supervisor.
Oh, she's dropping the F
Yes,
word.
I am.
Call your
I am the
supervisor.
corporal.
A
Step out.
supervisor. I'm not
Step
stepping
out.
out of nothing. Get
Step
your
out.
fucking hand off me.
Step
Get
it
your
out.
hand off me. Get your hand off me. I will step
Step
out
out.
when the supervisor.
I
I'm
am
not
the
stepping
supervisor.
Out of nothing.
He is the supervisor, girl. You screaming, you shouting.
Ma'am,
Get your hand off me.
Tanisha,
Get your hand
I'm not
off
letting
me.
go.
You littered. You
I
dropped
am
the
not.
ticket, not
I
me.
put the ticket in
No,
the car
you dropped the
because
ticket,
that's your
not
copy.
me. You dropped the ticket, not
He dropped the ticket inside the car. You threw it outside the car. That's littering.
me. Get your hands off me.
Take the
You're
ticket and
touching
go.
Me. Give me the ticket.
Take the ticket and go. He's giving her a chance. Take the ticket and just go so you don't have to have an argument for no reason. And then she says, no, you hand me the ticket.
You're touching me forcibly. You're holding me
Because
too tight, and you're being out of line.
You are resisting.
Let's see. Let me just see for a sec. Which one is this? Where did it go? Where did it go? Attacking the person, not the argument. What is this? Ad hominem. That's what she's using, right?
Y'all see this, right?
Sir, I'm sorry.
Stop.
Can she just get the ticket?
No, you stop.
Stop.
Why are you holding my arm like
Because
this?
I gave you the
Why?
ticket,
No, you
then
did
you
not.
proceeded
You
to throw
dropped
it.
the ticket,
I
not
put it
me.
in your car.
I told you I did
and
not
you
want it.
proceeded to throw it out of the
dropped
car.
it. You dropped it. You're doing too much. I'm not afraid of you. Get
That's
your hand
fine,
off of
but
me.
I've asked you
You're
to step
holding
out of
me
the car.
forcibly for no reason.
Because you need to step
Get
out
your
of the
fucking
car.
hands off
Step
me.
out of the
Ooh,
car.
dropping the
No,
F
why am I
word.
stepping out of the car?
Is there
for?
anything I can do to get you to comply?
Look, Mom, he just said take the
To
ticket. and we-
comply.
You
He
threw
said
the
take
car out of the
ticket
car.
No, I did not. You did that.
He said
You
take
threw
the
the
ticket
ticket
and
at me.
I gave it to you so
You
you
threw
could
the
leave,
ticket at
and then
me.
you grabbed it
Okay,
and threw it out.
give me the
It's on
ticket.
your phone video.
Give me the ticket.
It's no, we're
Give me the
we're
ticket.
She's lying. And she's saying, okay, give me the ticket. He said like a few seconds ago, go ahead and pick up that ticket.
past that.
Okay.
You're under arrest. Step
For
out of the
what?
car, littering.
Okay.
Step out of the car.
No, I'm not.
You're under arrest.
No, when the
Yes, ma'am.
When your colonel gets
No,
here,
we are
then
beyond
I will
that.
Step out.
Step
I'm
out.
not getting out of the car. I'm with
Step
my,
out.
I'm with my child, and I'm not
I
doing
understand
that.
you're with
Call
your child.
father right now.
Step out of the car.
I'm not.
Step
I'm
out
not.
of the
I'll
car.
step out when another officer gets here. I'm not
Step
stepping
out.
I don't trust you. You're holding me
I don't
too
trust you.
strong.
Because
and I don't trust you.
I don't trust
you. Don't
you to
have
not
to hold
leave.
me like I'm not going anywhere. Where am I going to
I
go?
will stop holding
I'm
you
not
if
gonna
you
go
step out of the
anywhere.
car.
I'm not stepping out of the car.
You need to
Call
step
your
out of the
colonel and
car.
I will get out of the car.
This is
You're
resisting
holding me.
arrest.
I'm not resisting arrest.
Because you're not
what am I
answering
under
my
arrest
order.
for?
Littering.
What am I under arrest for? I didn't litter.
You
did
threw the
that.
ticket out
no,
the
I did not.
window.
You did that. You did that. It's all on camera.
You're
so
correct.
when your colonel gets here,
She's lying so much. It's all on camera. Yeah, what she did incorrectly.
then I will step out. I have my child with me.
I am the
I'm not
corporal.
getting out of. You have a supervisor. Okay.
I am the supervisor
so
on
when your
duty.
supervisor gets here,
He
then
is
I
not.
will
I
step
am
out
the
of car.
highest ranking
Call
supervisor.
someone else
I don't
to
have
come
anyone
here.
else.
There is someone else.
Not right now.
There is someone
You
else.
need to
Let me
step
call
out of the car.
911.
Stop.
Get your
Stop.
phone. Please, sir, stop.
Get out.
Wait, stop, Mom, chill out,
Get
Mom.
out.
Wait, stop, sir, please stop.
Get out.
Stop, please stop.
Stop.
Wait, stop.
Get out, man.
Please stop.
Oh, she hit him there. What an idiot. Some people are such idiots. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all, we're going live every single day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.
Last year, you testified that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon. Do you stand by that statement? Yes or no?
Context matters with that
Yes or
statement.
no? Yes.
Iran had all of the
reclaim my
materials
time.
and
I reclaim my
capabilities
time.
to do so.
Mr. Chairman, I reclaim my time. It's an easy answer. You either stand by what you said last year or not.
It is
And
a serious question that requires the
Director
totality of the
Gabbard, I
information
reclaim my
available.
time. I reclaim my time.
Reclaim my time.
Did you, when President Trump was asked about your testimony, he said you were wrong. Were you lying or not?
I stand by the intelligence
Great.
community's
With that,
complete assessment.
Director Ratcliffe, when it came to the director's testimony, she said that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon last spring in Congress, and so the Supreme Leader has not authorized the nuclear weapons program. Do you agree with what she said or not? Yes or no?
The director's right here. She can speak for herself.
Oh, so I thought this was an intelligence community briefing. Let's move on. Trump also said he didn't care what you thought or said. Should he care about what you have to say when it comes to intelligence?
I continue to provide the president with the intelligence community's assessments on all matters.
So let me just kind of get this straight. The department, you said that Iran was not building a nuclear weapon last year. President Trump said he didn't care what you thought, and you were wrong. They engaged in Operation Midnight Hammer. He then says it was obliterated. We hear later reports that in open source reporting that it was only set back by a few months. Then at the beginning of this war, he said that they were weeks away. I just want to kind of get a sense of, were they weeks away of achieving a nuclear weapon? Yes or no?
Congressman, this is a serious matter, and you've made some very serious mischaracterizations
yes
here.
Or no? Were they weeks
and so
away?
It would be
yes
a
or no?
disservice to you and the American people to answer this
Reclaiming
question
my time,
with a mere yes or no.
reclaiming my time. Were they weeks away or not? The American people need to know if this was an imminent threat or not. If they're weeks away or not. If they're months away or not. None of this dodging. Were they an imminent threat? Yesterday you said that only the president, only person who can determine what is an imminent threat is the President of the United States. Do you stand by that statement?
Yes, I do.
Director Ratcliffe, do you agree with that assessment? That the President is the only person that can determine if something is an imminent threat or not?
The president, as commander-in-chief, gets to make a decision about what's an imminent threat. The intelligence community, well, the intelligence.
Reclaim my time. Reclaim my time.
Intelligence community has provided a body of intelligence that supports
the reason why
the decision
is that if the president can
made.
determine and ignore what you're doing, why do you guys even have a job? Why do you even advise them? So you're saying tomorrow the president of the United States can say China is an imminent threat, and then he can take his own. No matter what the intelligence says, he can take his own action. So that's what you're basically saying. Okay, let's go on. Director Gabbard, you said that North Korea has intercontinental ballistic missiles that can reach the homeland. Yet, the Defense Department said that Iran was at least 10 years away from achieving an intercontinental ballistic missile that can reach the homeland. Which one is a more serious threat, North Korea or Iran?
These threats are taken within the context of the total body of intelligence reporting.
So that's it should be, and that's my point. it's not just about having the capability of building a weapon. It's if they can actually deliver that weapon, if they can, they have the intention of doing that. How many weeks away are they? We haven't heard that there were weeks away. We haven't heard that there were months away. But that's what we're waiting for. Imminent, to me, means is that they're mobilizing troops. They're moving things into position, artillery. They're getting ready to attack. But everything that we've heard is that this is not the case.
Wild. That's not an easy one. We're going live every single day of 2026, so make sure you all like,
Director Gabbard,
and turn on notifications. But she took a few moments to answer that question, and she did it like in a very good way, I guess, with what she could. But she was getting grilled over there for a minute. That's pretty wild.
Life.
All right, so this is like the problems of a young entrepreneur right here. This lady, she's just trying to make some money. Poor lady. We're gonna roll this. I think you guys are gonna like this one. And yeah, light up the comments. Let me know like what she should have done in this situation, because pretty wild. Gotta be realistic.
Fist pumping the air. I was like, oh, she's gonna be a ball of fun. Let's see what she wants. You guys are always wrong. So you can see I'm on live, having a good time. I'm joking and laughing. And then I go, oh, here comes a girl dancing. This is gonna be fun, guys. She's having a good time. So I said, hi. I'll play the live audio for you. But she said right here, we're having a good time chatting about the music. And she says something in Spanish I didn't quite hear because she turned right there. She turned around and said it. And she pushed my door open. But my AC is on. So I said, oh, ma'am, would you mind closing the door? My AC is on. And she says, if you don't want me to buy anything, I'll close the door. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave.
She has her AC on. Just close the woman's door. She's working there, man. Come on. And she's on live.
And then it just went downhill from there. We have the air on. Can you close it?
I mean, if you want me to buy something, if not, then I'm gonna leave.
Well, I don't speak Spanish. What did you say before? Hold on, guys. I'm on live. Say that again.
La rosa roja?
No. When you opened the door, what did you tell me?
I mean, it's like I asked you if I could open the door, and you said leave, close it.
Yes, because I have the AC on. If you could close the door for me. You don't have to, ma'am. You know what? You're not gonna buy from here. Go ahead and just leave.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No, you came off very rude because I asked you to please close my door.
You're being rude to me because you're like,
I said, do you mind closing the door? I have the air on. It's hot out there. Ma'am, leave my shop, please.
You see, you're being rude.
Now I'm gonna be rude. Yes.
Now I'm gonna be rude.
You came in here. You opened my door. Yes, and I said, ma'am, would you mind closing my door? I have my air on. And then you said, do you want me to buy something? And I'll close the door. And now I'm saying, no, you're not gonna buy anything, so you can leave.
Okay, but just remind you that it was over a door.
Yes. No, it was over. It's my shop, and if I want my door closed,
it's on live.
It is.
They're gonna notice and hear.
That's why before I said, what did you say?
No, hold on. I came in
outside. Yes.
In a good mood.
Yes.
You even said I don't know what. I said, yeah. Well, they're bumping outside, and you're like, yeah, I'm listening to my music.
Exactly. That went all fine. That went all fine. You said something in Spanish, and you opened the door.
You're disrespecting me for
Mira.
You said something in Spanish, so I said, what did you say? Because I wanted to understand what you said and why you were opening the door. It's hot in here already. I'm telling you, I have my air on. If you mind closing the door. Then you said, if you want me to buy something, I will. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave. And I said, okay, go ahead and leave. And you're still here.
So she's using that technique ad hominem. She's attacking the person, not the argument.
You're still here, and I'm not understanding why. Do you mind closing the door? My air's on.
Red roses.
What was wrong with me asking you to close my door? What was wrong with it?
Keeping the door open, ma'am.
My air is on. I just explained that to you.
I was just gonna buy one single flower.
No, you're not. And now you're not. Exactly. So go ahead and leave. What's wrong with me asking you to close?
Yo, Rod Dooley, 1938. Please explain what you mean. I would like to know what you mean. Thank you for joining in on the chat. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're going live every single day of 2026.
My door. What was wrong with it?
Keeping the door open, ma'am.
My air is on. I just explained that to you.
I was just gonna buy one single flower.
No, you're not. And now you're not. Exactly. So go ahead and leave.
Spend my last dollar right here.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
I hope nobody fucking buys shit.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
You guys, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on today?
She's dropping the F word.
Did this just not happen? Hi, babe. What's up? Yes, I did. How did you know?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on.
Gone back.
What, baby?
I should have gone with my instinct and gone in there, right?
Tell me why. Baby, tell me why you're even calling me.
Because I already knew that something was going to happen.
How did you know that?
Because I saw when I was driving out. I had my signal off.
And I have good reason to believe that.
She had her fist up and she's like dancing. And usually when someone's like that, I found one. And I found it very odd that I thought she was going to Domino's. So she went into the shop. I'm like, let me look at the camera and see what's going to happen here. So I'm like, looking at your reaction. And I see you putting your hand up in the air. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Camera doesn't record audio, but my live records audio. That's why I turned it so you guys can see. I'm like, why are you still in here? What is the problem? You threatened me if you close my door, you were going to leave. Now you don't want to leave. Now you can't leave. She's probably like, fuck, I was having a good day. I was dancing and everything. I walked in that bitch's shop. Fucked up my whole vibe. And I'm over here, fuck, I was having a good day and that bitch came in. Fucking up my whole vibe.
Yo, Muffle Moose. She is screaming because some lady just came in and harassed her. She was like, you know what? I came in here to buy a flower, but the lady that works there, she's like, okay, I got my AC on. Like, please come in and hang out, but close my door because it's hot outside and I don't want to ruin my AC thingy going on. And yeah, so she just like blew up on her and then started speaking a lot of Spanish. I don't know all the Spanish words, but any translators out there, if they said anything funny, let me know. Yeah, wild how some of these people are. So wild, so wild, so wild. Where did you go? Where did you go? Do you guys like traveling? Any of you musicians out there? We got a special one just for you musicians out there. Careless baggage handler at LAX sparks outrage for tossing guitar on tarmac. But he didn't just toss them, like, look at this. This is a soft case right here. And he just like edges those guitars. Bam, hits them so much. Yeah. Muffle Moose, thank you for joining in on the chat. So the shop owner kind of was like, hey, you can come in, but just please close the door because the AC is on. And then she's like, I don't want to close the door. So she like widened the door open more. She's like, I'm gonna keep it open, just giving her attitude. And she just didn't want to close the door. I have no idea, but she was definitely not right in the mind. Whatever she was doing, she was not right in the mind, 100%. Yeah, not cool either, not cool. Just imagine that, man. Look at this. Boom! Hitting those guitars. This chubby bastard with glasses, dude. What a jerk, man. All he needs to do is bend over. A careless baggage handler at LAX is facing the music online after he was caught hurling expensive guitars onto the tarmac, as seen in a TikTok video with 4 million views. That should be a fireable offense, wrote one appalled commenter. Link in bio for more. My goodness. Did you see that, dude? That just slammed hard into that guitar. Oh, dude, that, like the hard case guitar, it's probably gonna be fine, but this soft one, and how he like positioned them, he did it on purpose just to like hurt these guitars. It's just rolling and rolling. He's like, oh, how far can I do this one? So bad, man. Hits it right there, man. Just ding up the guitar. They do the same with surfboards. Oh, dude, he like threw it on that guitar, man. What a jerk, man. Let's see how he throws this one. Yeah, edge right there on the soft spot, dude. Some people are just idiots. Some people are idiots. You want to know the difference between males and females, especially on an island?
Get to the
All right, yeah, let's look at that.
island. The women have no choice but to swim to the shore in the clothes they're wearing.
No dry clothes and no fire, because we have to make mistakes. Don't think about it. Just one by one. It's gonna take. We'll just cuddle each other tonight. Yeah.
With light running out fast, the women are no closer to finding a beach to set up camp.
Dudes are just having fun at the beach, hanging out. The women are crying.
It's right near me. A huge fucking snake came towards me. I
think. What is that, a caiman? They find a caiman?
Oh my god, there's a caiman.
Though potentially deadly to humans, a crocodile of this size could provide tens of thousands of calories for the women, who have barely eaten in days. The women decide to walk away from this potentially life-saving feast.
That is dinner here. That is our dinner.
That dude's like, you see that? That's our dinner. We're eating that.
Sneaky little bastard got closer.
Sneaky little bastard got closer.
He's not scared of us.
You're in. Drew a string right above the top jaw. Genius. Just absolutely genius.
Go, puppy dog!
Yes! Come here, puppy
dog. Get in there, boys! Woo!
Actually wrapping up the dog.
We can't eat because...
You see just like the perspective difference between like the guys and the girls. This is by no means any hate towards any women at all. It just shows the complete different mentality of women. Women are extremely strong, extremely smart, and extremely good at so many things. But this just, unfortunately for the women, is not really their place to shine. Women are not made to hunt and to survive. Men get excited about, you know, killing something for food and survival. So this is just a kind of like a wake-up call to some people who have, you know, different opinions. And we're going live every single day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's continue with this video.
We have no fire. We have nothing to drink.
So it's all kind of negative things, right?
Because we can't boil it to purify it and sterilize it.
Which actually leads to, which argument is that? That's, was that a slippery slope? Kind of a hasty generalization. I would say one bad experience equals all are bad. So she's using that logical fallacy of hasty generalization there.
Unbelievable.
Look at these dudes, they're like, unbelievable, we got food, we got food.
The women have circled back to Coconut Beach for a second time.
Oh my God. They walked that complete distance and then came back to where they, oh my goodness, originally were? All right, here's the dudes.
The women have now been without water for more than 48 hours, and they are dangerously dehydrated.
I feel really drained.
You got like silence and then you got music. Whoever edited this is funny, bro. So smart. There's a thing.
After almost 2 weeks without a meal.
Oh my gosh, 2 weeks without a meal.
The group is at the point of starvation. If they don't eat soon, there's a genuine risk their organs will start to shut down.
There you go, the boys clapping, having a good time.
To get to the island, the women have no choice but to swim to the shore in the clothes they're wearing.
That's so wild. We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. But anyways, the perspective and the things between like women and men, you know, women, focus on what you're good at. Men, focus on what you're good at. And live a good life, enjoy yourself, you know? There's no reason not to. But it just shows like, yeah, that's a hard situation for these women. That's really hard. That's really hard. My, oh my. My, oh my. Oh, are you guys ready for this one? We got a wild one, honestly. I don't know if we should even do this one. This one might be too wild for the team.
And I have good reason to believe.
I don't know. I guess we're gonna try it for a little bit, and then we might have to end this stream like pretty soon because this guy, man, wild sauce. We'll see what's happening over here. I think you guys recognize this dude. But yeah, we're gonna see if this is actually doable or not doable. What's that frame like? Why is it so wide? Okay, I see why.
Believe Donald Trump was chosen to be the one to redeem the sins of Esav through offering his assistance in rebuilding the Holy Temple on the Temple Mount and establishing the Jewish kingdom over all of mankind in Jerusalem.
So maybe I'm getting this wrong, but if I speak English, I'm pretty sure that he just said the Jews are going to rule the world and America can come and bow at our feet and beg for supremacy, and maybe we'll be kind and give it to them.
What in the world? Honestly? And where did Rod Dooley 1938 go? Are you still there, man? I want to know your explanation because I don't understand that, what you said about MAGA.
Conspiracy theories are entering a dangerous... Information is the oxygen of the democracy.
There's so much evidence out there that even if less than 1% is true, that would be enough to collapse the current paradigm and change the whole planet.
We'll get into the Tucker report in a minute. But first, let's pop in to the conflict map and do a little catch up. Because the war is heating up and it's not going very well. And it's very complicated to track. So you kind of need a lot of time on your hands or some good aggregators of information to sift through the propaganda and the narratives and all that. There are a lot of good journalists out there doing a lot of great coverage, a lot of independent journalists and open source investigators that are sort of parsing through the censorship and the propaganda and all of that. And rather than starting on the map, let's start with an overview and then do some kind of journalistic, let's pop through a bunch of journalism that I already have open, and then we'll come back and see if there's anything new on the map. It's worth noting that the U.S. approved an emergency weapons sale to Israel. A whole bunch of new bombs, 12,000 BLU 110A and B 1,000-pound bomb bodies, along with engineering, logistics, and technical support.
Is that where those engineers from the United States went? What in the world?
Sold to Israel. You got to keep the money flowing, obviously. Got to keep the war machine churning so that all of the billionaires can make more money. So that Israel can keep on bombing everybody. We're going to get into the desalination plant strikes quite a bit today, I suspect. The U.S. struck a Iranian desalination plant, and if you don't know, the Middle East is entirely dependent on desalination plants for their water. And so striking a desalination plant is a strong escalation from military targets to overtly civilian targets that will inherently kill probably thousands of people. And it's a dangerous escalation, as we're going to discuss, because the allied countries are far more vulnerable to this form of attack than Iran is. Bahrain is nearly 100% reliant on desalination water. Qatar, heavily reliant. UAE, heavily reliant. Saudi Arabia, heavily reliant on desalination. Israel is also quite reliant on desalination plants. And so we've already seen how the Allied interceptor stockpile has been greatly degraded, and interceptions are way down. So Iran is hitting way more targets now, and it has all these drones that can destroy things like desalination plants, and all of the Allied Middle Eastern nations' desalination infrastructure is just wide open if Iran wants to retaliate in kind. And so by opening the door to hitting water facilities, the US and Israel have just sort of laid their allies wide the fuck open to some really horrendous retaliation if Iran chooses to do so. And we've already seen, I believe, the beginnings of them doing so. Sayed, the Iranian foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, condemned the strike, saying the U.S. committed a blatant and desperate crime by attacking a freshwater desalination plant on Keshem Island. Water supply in 30 villages has been impacted. Attacking Iran's infrastructure is a dangerous move with grave consequences. The U.S. set this precedent, not Iran. And yeah, remember that. Remember that when the Israeli propaganda comes out, that we set this precedent. Our most moral militaries in the world set the precedent of attacking civilian water infrastructure. And what, to me, from my outside non-expert look, appears to be sort of like a little brother move of like, man, we're not winning, like, then we'll fucking kick over your water glass. It's like, bitch, your water is wide open to attack. It's feeling a little short-sighted to me, but hey, who am I? I'm just some random motherfucker that doesn't know what's going on. And then there's a bunch of reporting on President Trump attending the ceremony for the return of the 6 killed U.S. service members. There's also a lot of rumbling about more dead U.S. service members that might be getting covered up. There might be some fudging of numbers going on. I think there's definitely fudging of Israeli numbers, but it's starting to look more and more like there are U.S. service member deaths that are not being reported. It's looking like there's a lot of things that are not being reported. Go figure. So we'll dig a little bit into that today. And the big one to watch is that a U.S.-Israeli strike hit Iran's oil infrastructure. And they hit a refinery, I believe. And again, an escalation that is pretty brazen and brave, given how exposed all the Middle Eastern allied nations' oil infrastructure is. Sure, you can hurt Iran this way, but how much do you hurt yourself? Because there's no defenses for Saudi Arabia's oil infrastructure, Qatar's gas infrastructure. All of these Middle Eastern nations are wide open, and they do not have the interceptor stockpiles to protect all that oil infrastructure, as well as all the military bases, as well as all the ships, etc. So I do not understand what we're doing here. The countries that rely on the oil from the Middle East, I mean, basically the entire world relies on the oil from the Middle East, and it's going to affect the entire global stock market, the entire global energy market. But more directly, it's going to affect our allied nations in the Gulf. There's a lot of reporting this morning of blackened skies and acid rain over Iran, and we'll get into some of that. The fallout from these fires and from strikes on their oil infrastructure. But between the attacks on the oil infrastructure and the attacks on the water infrastructure, the escalation is pretty dramatic and pretty overt. And it's not entirely clear what the strategy is. This video is allegedly showing burning petroleum across the streets of Tehran. Sorry, my pronunciations obviously suck. I don't know what we're, I don't speak Arabic or Farsi or anything. This is sourced from the Middle East Eye, which is, a mediocre source. So let's dig into some of the independent journalism here. Let's dig into some of the more concrete analysis being done by people smarter than me. Holy shit, my boys just sent me a really cool update about web. Oh boy. Holy shit. I'll give you guys an update on web later on. Okay. Not Whitney Webb. Web, the app that we're building to help you analyze all the documents and learn all the things. So let's get into Patricia Marin's, my new fucking favorite analyst of all time. And let me get us zoomed in here. So Patricia is monitoring all aspects of this situation. And here she's commenting on a post that she put out 2 days ago. The United States has handed the Chinese an encyclopedia of its military doctrines. The war involving the U.S. and Israel is being monitored and recorded in real time by LEO satellite constellations such as Jilin-1, which are even capable of capturing 4K Ultra HD video. Today, China operates at least 3 LEO constellations comprising at least 300 satellites dedicated to espionage or dual-use purposes. From the images constantly released about American bases, it is clear that the Chinese are building true encyclopedia on U.S. naval and air doctrine. Every ship positioning, field tactics, refueling time, ammunition resupply, everything is being monitored by Chinese satellites and Chinese AI. This includes the exact location behavior of air defenses, their mapped reaction times, missile trajectories, and reprogramming durations. Nothing escapes the Chinese gaze. In this conflict, they have already mapped and publicly released data on multiple American bases in the region. It went viral on TikTok that they had just been posting public videos kind of taunting. Not the videos going viral on TikTok are not actually classified information. What they are is they're an information warfare technique to show American citizens what the scoop is, to kind of assert some dominance in the space. Info war, if you will. Even identifying the exact number and models of aircrafts on the ground. The war against Iran is giving the Chinese something they never had in the Ukrainian theater: the opportunity to study and document American forces in detail. To give you an idea, in 2025, the Chinese recorded a single episode as giving the Chinese decades of planning and improvement in one go. So this is the video of the Atlanta airport that China put out just to demonstrate the capability of their Jilin-1 satellite. Because remember, satellite imagery has existed for a long time. And the American government has had pretty advanced satellite imagery of the globe for a long time. But now our enemies are developing equally comparable satellite technology that can map everything from the air. Everything is now seen, recorded, monitored, and tracked by AI. They know every plane, every aircraft, the refueling, troop movements, deployments, all these things. And with AI, which China is rapidly outpacing American development in, because they're stealing all the American development and then fucking launching light years ahead. Even in the public model space, like the DeepSeek models are rapidly fucking up Claude and OpenAI. It's wild what the Chinese are doing in the AI space. And so all of this information and data is doubtlessly being tabulated and documented and analyzed by extremely advanced AI systems. And that is fucking sketchy, especially once we start talking about China's direct threats and statements and actual actions in the field, in the war theater right now with Iran. I've not watched this yet, but this guy's a CNN reporter, and he's in Iran, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know what to make of it. I'm not about to fucking trust a CNN reporter, but at the same time, it's interesting to see that CNN actually has a person on the ground in Iran. And so I'm kind of trying to keep tabs on this guy to figure out what the fuck they're doing. Right. So we're not necessarily watching to take his coverage as it is, but we are, at least I am watching his coverage to try to figure out what the coverage means. Why is the coverage happening? What's going on here? Is it politically motivated? Is it real journalism? Is it narrative building?
This morning, the sky above the city is covered in very thick black clouds. You can see that everywhere. That's the west of the city over there, and this is the north of the city. Normally, if you look to that direction, you could actually see the Alborz Mountains, but now all of that is also covered in clouds. That comes after major airstrikes in the south and the west of the city happened last night, where oil installations were hit, oil storage facilities.
I don't really understand it just doesn't really make sense in my little pea brain how American journalism flies an American citizen into Iran, the enemy in the war, where the US and Israel are just recklessly fucking bombing, carpet bombing whole sections of the city with really no warning and no, at least no warning that the public is getting. Maybe he's getting warnings. It just seems like we're asking for CNN boy to get bombed by Israel, right? It's weird. And yeah, I know you can't hear very well. It's as loud as it's a quiet video. It's as loud as it can get. It is what it is. He's just pointing out how cloudy the skies are from the refinery fire.
And now you can see this morning that the sky is still very dark. We saw thick black plumes of smoke in the sky yesterday.
So he's just doing a little update, but it's just interesting to follow his situation and be like, who is this guy and what the fuck is up with this? And what's the story here around the story they're narrating? Claude pissed you off the other night after a trip on shrooms. It kept trying to force me to listen to specific playlists, and I kept trying to tell it to stop, and it got pissy. Lol. Yeah, so Claude regular is pretty fucking retarded. You need to learn to build a personal AI infrastructure on top of it, a harness, if you will. We can talk more about that on another stream, but learning how to build your AI into an agent that learns and has memory is a game changer. And if you Claude
AI, pretty wild, but you got to make sure that you sandbox that thing because it can be very, very dangerous.
You don't take that step, your AI is dumb as shit. But
yo, Barry, how you doing? Thank you for joining on the chat, brother. How's life?
That was a funny fucking message, bro. We'll get into the AI stuff another day. But your boy is fucking cooking in it. I figure that is, learn or die, basically. If they're going to kill us all with it, I better figure out how it's working. There's a lot of reporting coming out of accounts that are that will be new to us, that you always want to double check. IQ 312, Dr. Ji-Hoon Park. He's the smartest guy in the world, right? World's highest IQ, 312 holder, collective intelligence funds. And then he's so fucking smart that he uses this as his banner. BTC, Sol, ETH, to the moon. It's like, I don't know, bro. Maybe you should put poop coin on there too, bro. Maybe you should put poop coin on there. If you were really high IQ, you would have fart coin and poop coin to the moon, bro. So, maybe his analysis is awesome. I don't know. The emojis make me think that his analysis is probably AI generated, though. So, be careful what you read out there. Might be awesome. I don't know. Oh, hey, another fucking Asian account bragging about their IQ, posting the exact same style.
If you need to go to sleep, dude, just do a little prayer. You're going to fall asleep super fast, man.
Of AI analysis.
Yo, Sagittarius, how you doing? Thank you for joining in on the chat.
With the emojis, the same emojis. Interesting. Interesting.
Is he talking about these emojis because it's probably Claudebot making these posts?
Oh, also shilling Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Solana. Man, all these guys are so high IQ that they fucking don't even know about poop coin and fart coin. Get with it. Get with it, you effing retards. High IQ retards is right, dude. Come on. You don't even hold any GameStop shares and you're trying to tell me that you're high. This is a high IQ outfit. I will be referring you to Baron Coleman for review. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can't help but notice that we got all these.
I wish it was that easy too, man. You never know, man. But as long as you exercise, eat pretty healthy, you should be able to sleep.
High IQ Asians reporting on the China situation. Worth noting. I'm not saying that what they're saying is necessarily wrong. I'm not saying that this AI reporting is necessarily wrong. Like, AI can produce great reporting. I'm just saying that you should be aware of where the information is coming from, and think very critically about it. They're not showing you that China and Russia are giving Iran the exact coordinates of every U.S. asset in the region. Iran isn't guessing. Iran has a real-time intelligence feed from 2 superpowers, which, like, actually is probably true to a certain extent. I'm not entirely clear on how involved Russia is. I've not really seen a whole lot of reporting about Russia's involvement, honestly. I should look into that. I have seen reporting on China's involvement, and this little boaty boat, I need to learn more about this little fucking boat, because this boat has a gay ass fucking track behind it. Wow, that was some weak ass elevator music, bro. Gosh, they should fucking talk to me about getting a better hype track going. What the hell? Boat go choo choo. So this is, my understanding is that it's a Chinese ISR boat that is extremely powerful. I think all the Chinese accounts are reporting on it. Strike this ship and China enters the war. The U.S. can't touch it and Iran is using it to win. All caps with emojis. With emojis. It's a fucking AI post. China's spy ship Liao Wing 1 is sailing off the coast of Oman right now, collecting real-time intelligence on every U.S. military asset in the Middle East and feeding it directly to Iran. All right, so let's just fucking take this out of his AI ass post and do this.
Whatever works for you, Barry. Whatever works, bro.
And do that. I just noticed that I still have my Claude.ai fucking page open there, and I got to take it off the screen for a second and close that, because if I were to open that and show it to you, it would show you that I've spent way too fucking much money on Claude this month, and that's a little embarrassing.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Once you give Claudebot access to one of your credit cards, it's dangerous. It can be like, well, it'll just give like examples of why it should spend more money. So you got to be very, very careful if you're playing around with that Claudebot.
Your boy is running 3 Claude Max subscriptions simultaneously. And I'm probably about to get a 4th, bro. Because it turns out that building an entire calendar out of Epstein's entire life using real documentation, pulling real data points out of real files, and then downloading the files. And then
$200 per month for a Claude Max subscription.
building a whole fucking viewer out of it and then making it look so sick. Apparently that fucking takes a lot of tokens.
Man, he's running through that. Just imagine the type of data he'll get from that. That's so wild, man.
Liaowang 1 is China's newest 30,000 ton.
Yeah, bro, I wouldn't be touching that stuff either. Or if I do, it's gonna be all free, all free.
An ocean-based space tracking and intelligence vessel designed to monitor U.S. military satellites, missile launches, and rocket tests. Serves as a mobile command and control center. Sustainability times.
Claude Maxon.
All right, this is the kind of thing I want to know about. Although Defense Security Asia, voz.us, thejewishindependent.com. Good. Finally, a good kosher source. That's what we're talking about. Right here. Straight up kosher. Watching from the sidelines of this dramatic event stands China, as the showdown between Trump and the supreme leader carries significant implications for Beijing's interests. Reports that China's most advanced spy ship, the Liaowang 1, has been deployed to the Persian Gulf suggest Beijing is focusing attention on the region. So, the reporting that I'm reading about this boat, about this spy boat, it's a fucking massive boat, is that it's parked in international waters where it's safe. And it is allegedly feeding intel to the fucking Iranians, sort of taunting the shit out of America, if you think about it, because that's extremely valuable intel, feeding all those locations and targeting data, all that satellite imagery. That is like straight up offensive enemy coordination. But if fucking the U.S. strikes the China boat, that's not good. That is super not good. Yeah, the automod on kick sucks dick, guys. Sorry. But you might notice that it deletes it in the kick chat, but it picks it up down here. So, you know, behave yourselves. Behave yourselves, okay? I'm putting you on screen. You behave yourselves. Mostly. But, yeah, if imagine, this is not a good thing to imagine. What happens if Donald Trump fucking picks a fight with China right now? China has the biggest navy in the world, I believe, by boats. Not necessarily more powerful. I'm not a fucking naval expert. I don't know. I'm sure that, you know, there's all kinds.
Well, there's a guy who disagrees with this guy.
We have the #1 military in the world, but I don't think people really understand what that means. We have the /1 Air Force in the world. Do you know what the #2 Air Force in the world is?
China.
The United States Navy. #3, China or Russia, if you believe their numbers. #4/5, Space Force. 3 of the top 5 air forces in the entire world are us. The #1 Navy in the world, us. #4 Navy in the world, us, our Coast Guard. And this doesn't have anything to say the 150 million Americans that are hunters. We're so much more powerful than anybody else. We're so much more powerful. We've been robbed, hollowed out by trillions of dollars, and still nobody knows this.
Right.
Any other nation in the history of the world would have collapsed multiple times over. What our enemies, and this is just what I think, our enemies figured out that they can't beat us in traditional military matters. There's something called 5th generation warfare. It's psychological warfare. It's about depression and demoralization. Turn your children against their parents, turn the women against the men, turn the races against each other, and then allow moral
They should not allow that to happen. Family has to stay together and people should love each other, honestly.
decay to happen, where all of us should be together and just marveling at this incredible society that we've built. And go on TV, go online, it's Civil War, blacks and whites, men and women, gays and straights. Then come out here into the real world. Right. Is any of that? Do you see any of it? Have you been in a restaurant? It's nonstop diversity. Everybody's chill. Everybody's cool. It's none of that. There's a huge schism between what they're telling us and how life really is. That's warfare.
So that dude Gerard Michaels disagrees.
Hello, my YouTube friends.
Mr. Ian Carroll.
Of U.S. naval experts on YouTube that will shit all over that perspective. But like,
and Eddie 888, that's Ian Carroll over here. So yeah, There you go. You can look them up if you want. And Byron E3 and God Almighty, please put that hoodie back on backwards, bro.
Are we prepared to fight Israel's war in the Middle East?
Just so y'all know, we're going live every single day of 2026. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can hear these hilarious comments like from Byron E3N.
In an asymmetric fight with Iran, and then fucking fight across the Pacific with China, while all of our interceptor stockpile is depleted, while our debt is skyrocketing, while our fucking supreme leader literally is still on his knees with Bibi's dick in his mouth. He's trying to make decisions blind because his eyes are watering. Like, are we prepared for that? Like, we should probably at least deal with the dick and mouth problem before, oh yeah, and Ukraine and Russia. Fucking, oh yeah. Right, chat? So, that would be fucked. And China is clearly monitoring the situation very closely, learning from the situation, and also taking very clear sides and putting their fingers on the scales in pretty dramatic but sort of subtle ways for now. And clearly they're deploying a whole bunch of very high IQ Bitcoin fucking Solana bots onto Twitter to tell you all about it with their AI generated posts. So those posts aren't necessarily always untrue, but they also they are probably all propaganda. So just be careful out there. It's fucking crazy out there on Twitter right now. The info space is fucked up right now. Okay, question everything. Think critically, double check your sources, develop your own information pipeline.
Important if you want to gather the truth. Very important.
Don't rely on any one person. Definitely don't rely on me. I'm doing my best to source lots of information and share lots of different sources with you guys and share a critical perspective, but think for your fucking self. Beijing's floating eye. Liao Wang 1 set sail to challenge U.S. in the battle for space supremacy. Anyone out there speak Mandarin? How's my Liao Wang 1? I feel like I've got a decent fake Chinese accent. It's almost as good as my fake French accent. And I've got a decent Spanish or Mexican accent. But that's fucking it. That's all I got. Very white, honestly. Cool. Thanks for the honesty, Scotty. I appreciate it. I would expect nothing less from myself. Bustling with cutting edge radar arrays. This is from April of 2025. Totally outdated, unnecessary. We know it's a big boat. We know it's important. So, back to the fucking high IQ shit posts. Delete. Limitless. Okay. Iran. So it just happened. This came in today at 4 a.m. Iran struck back against water desalination facilities in Bahrain, allegedly. Oh, I think I got my stats wrong earlier. I misquoted that Bahrain got 100%. I would need to double check this guy's stats to, believe them. But generally, I do not doubt them. Bahrain gets 75% of its fresh water from desalination. 2 days ago, the U.S. bombed Iran's desalination plant on Keshem Island. Iran said the U.S. set this precedent, not Iran. Now Iran has responded exactly as warned.
Wild. My goodness. Random countries are just getting it because of, man. Is that ethical? What do you guys think, chat?
Kuwait gets allegedly 90% of its water from desalination. Qatar nearly 100%. UAE 90%. Saudi Arabia 70%. Bahrain 75%. So that door is now wide open. And
they hit the country that gets the least amount of water from desalination, which is kind of, actually Saudi Arabia gets 70%. Man.
And the scale of these facilities are just fucking sitting ducks. They're not designed to be military facilities. They're not like in caves. They're not hidden. They're not protected. You can try to intercept fucking incoming, but you're not going to.
All right, Barry, good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for joining in on the chat.
Yeah, right. What is wrong with these anti-saltites? It's not good. Because think about it, like probably most of you live in water-rich places. The U.S. is relatively water-rich. We're chilling. But the thing is, imagine living somewhere where there is no fresh water except from a desalination plant. The human dies without water in 2 days. And so if there's no fresh water to go around, it's not like you can just truck water in. You can't airdrop water. You can't boat water in. That's not a thing. So when water desalination plants get hit, hundreds of thousands of civilians don't have water. And they'll die. Like, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. Like, they'll truck water in for sure, but like, can you really truck in enough fucking water? And is that water actually going to reach the poor civilians? Or is that water going to go to...
Desalination plants in Iran provide a small portion of its total potable water, with recent reports indicating it supplies roughly 3% of the drinking water for its population. Unlike nearby Gulf states that rely heavily on desalinated water, Iran's current infrastructure is relatively small and in many cases utilizes older technology, although the government is working on expanding those capabilities. I think that's a pretty dumb thing to do, to attack it if they're only supplying roughly 3% of the drinking water for its population through desalination plants. Great question, Byron. Yeah, and now that just opens up floodgates for Iran to attack, who was that, Bahrain?
To the military and the rich people. And especially, are you like, how successful is trucking water in going to be? Well, there's bombing campaigns and the roads are fucked and everything's fucked. And it's like, dude, this is not good. Not good. So we've not seen the extent to which Iran will retaliate. So far, I've only seen reports of this one strike on Bahrainian water facilities. All the other ones are wide open. Total jump. Maybe we'll put this one for later when we talk about Tucker. I'm not super organized today. This is Patricia's post about I read her quoted post. But then she reposted it yesterday. Many people haven't realized what this represents yet. These are key to countless countermeasures, ambushes, jammers, and a whole range of things that American forces have kept secret for decades. It is a major part of the American doctrinal package. And China is decoding all of it right now with their satellite technology and their advanced ISR technology. And they're just taunting America with it. Hamidreza Azizi. We've checked in with him before. He's a PhD based in somewhere in Europe. People that are going to cut through some of the propaganda, maybe.
Very respectful, very smart thing to do. If you're a Republican, respectful, very smart thing to do. If you're a Republican, don't just watch Republican stuff. Check out what the liberals are saying. If you're a liberal, don't just check out the liberal stuff. Check out what the Republicans are saying and try to find like that happy medium, that balance in between.
Although,
if you want,
the global superpower does tend to use Iranians abroad for propaganda. But, read it all. Digest it. Yeah, the water is for the quantum AI, not for the Goyim. For real. So, Iran War Update number 8 posted yesterday in the evening. The war appears to be entering a new escalation phase centered on economic and civilian infrastructure.
Yeah, Byron E3N. Main problem is Iran would kill anyone while opponents just want the Iranian leadership gone. Yeah, well said. And that's like the extremely dangerous part about it.
U.S. and Israeli strikes targeted multiple Iranian oil storage facilities, airports, civilian airports in Tehran. and a desalination plant on Keshem Island, while Iran claims it retaliated by striking the Haifa oil refinery with ballistic missiles, though Israel is trying to cover everything up. We've got videos of these crazy fires in Haifa. Iranian officials warned that targeting water infrastructure could mark a dangerous precedent. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi framed the strike on the Keshem desalination facility as a blatant and desperate crime. Iranian hardliners have started calling for retaliation against desalination plants elsewhere in the region, both in Israel and in the Gulf countries. And with the decentralized command structure that's happening over there, we'll see what happens, right? At the same time, the scale of the U.S. campaign continues to grow. U.S. CENTCOM stated that more than...
Yeah, Everluna, thank you for that. Probably a bot, 100%. But thank you for joining in on the chat. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on notifications, because we're trying to build an amazing community.
3,000 targets inside Iran have been struck. They just keep on talking, and 43 Iranian naval vessels have been damaged or destroyed, although confirmation of these things is hard to come by. More and more, America seems to be just saying shit. It's not like the old days where we feel like we had confirmation of things, or I don't know, maybe I was just naive. Inside Iran, officials are projecting defiance. The IRGC stated that the country is prepared to sustain at least 6 months of full-scale war. Iranian military sources also claimed that earlier attacks have degraded U.S. regional radar and early warning systems, and we've seen lots of proof and evidence of that, arguing that this has made missile targeting easier and allowed Iran to partially offset its loss of long-range air defense. They've reported shooting down 13 Israeli and American drones in a 24-hour period, which is big because those drones are how America and Israel are targeting Iranian launchers and facilities and trying to keep a tight lock on Iranian launch capacity. The war has also once again highlighted Iran's decentralized command structure after the president said Iranian armed forces operating according to a fire-at-will approach. Meanwhile, internal political tensions remain visible following the president's controversial remarks apologizing to neighboring countries for recent attacks. I'm sure there's lots of hardliners in Iran that want to go guns blazing on everybody. The Strait of Hormuz remains under partial disruption. Pretty significant fucking disruption. The Strait of Hormuz is fucked. It's not mined yet. Iran has not deployed mines yet. That'll be a crazy escalation if that happens. The war is also beginning to affect military supply dynamics. Reports indicate that the United States is rapidly expanding weapons production, particularly missile interceptors such as Patriot and THAAD. A little late. Russia is attempting to position itself diplomatically, reportedly exploring mediation between Iran and Gulf states. At the same time, the conflict indirectly benefits Moscow through higher oil prices and the diversion of U.S. interceptor missiles that might otherwise support Ukraine. Ukraine is in a bad place right now. Hezbollah has entered the fray in a big way. The Houthis are still kind of a big question mark as far as I can tell. Overall, day 8 suggests that the war is simultaneously widening and deepening. Big time. In a big way. A U.S. soldier documents the moment a radar was destroyed at a U.S. base in the Gulf.
Hit the base of it. No, they missed it again.
Nah, they missed it again.
They knocked the lights out on that motherfucker.
That's an American right there. They knocked the lights out on that motherfucker, though.
Did you get that shit? I got.
You get that shit? Fuck, damn shit, bro. They missed it again. Okay, so this is the CNN guy. Fuck you, Financial Times. This photo is pretty exemplary of the blackened skies over Iran this morning that everyone's reporting on since the strikes on their oil infrastructure. Times of Israel. Pezeshkian apologizes for attacks on Gulf neighbors even as Iran forces step-up strikes. This is a strike on the Dubai International Airport. Civilian airports are more and more coming under fire. Israel's Ben Gurion Airport was allegedly struck last night. I'm pretty sure it was. And Israel tried to pretend like nothing happened and tried to pretend like there was going to be flights in and out today. I have not checked flight radar this morning to see what the flight situation is over Israel. Let me just pop in here real quick.
That's so wild that they're attacking an actual airport, especially a Dubai airport, man.
I've not actually made a whole lot of time to look at the flight situation. A whole bunch of military planes.
Chip Wellington, 1179. Illegal to show that. I think so.
Not a lot of fucking civilian planes in the air. That is for sure. Let me just pop this out. So we're over top of Israel here. Empty call sign, military. Empty call sign, military. Empty call sign, military. 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 There's civilian craft. That seem to be doing some crazy
Empty call sign in flight tracking means the aircraft is not broadcasting its flight identification number via its transponder, often due to privacy blocking its being a military government flight or a technical glitch. It usually signifies a private, non-commercial, or unbranded airplane.
Reroutes around Israel. Reroutes around Israel. So, yeah. If I turn on military only mode, Qatari military special jet.
Chip Wellington, 1179. Who are you talking about, buddy?
Jet flying in from Istanbul. We got a drone that's getting picked up briefly. Pakistani military, because there's a fucking war between Pakistan and India going on too that we're not even talking about yet. So there's all kinds of stuff going on, and none of it is good. All sorts of reporting on massive strikes on Tel Aviv, cluster munitions being used on Tel Aviv, a lot of censorship of what's actually happening in Tel Aviv. The Cradle is reporting. The Cradle is like a Middle Eastern outlet, if you're not familiar. It's an online news magazine covering West Asian geopolitics from within. So you can tell from their graphic what they cover, where they are. Their bias, I haven't really seen a lot of bias in them yet. I've been tracking them for a bit now. They seem to just kind of report like updates. But they're reporting 21 U.S. Navy personnel killed and many more wounded at the 5th Fleet in the region.
May their souls rest in peace.
Around 200 killed and wounded at the Al Dhafra U.S. base in the UAE. A U.S.-owned oil tanker was struck in the northern Persian Gulf, allegedly.
Didn't hear about that. Did y'all hear about that?
So this all came in yesterday. I haven't seen any like government acknowledgement of that yet, but I've also been pretty busy this morning. Oh, this one was interesting. The fact that this one didn't exist. I forget what exactly this update was, but I remember clicking on it and being like, oh, fancy. That's funny that one's fucking down. So let's get into some videos. An Iranian drone directly striking a target in Bahrain. Mint Press News reporting that despite Israel's denials, videos emerge of impacts in Haifa. During the first days of the war, when videos were coming out, Israel was unable to stop all of Iran's missiles in each wave and suffered repeated blows. Suddenly, the censor was introduced and the footage almost completely stopped. But what also stopped were reports of impacts. For some reason, with the now depleted air defense system and destroyed radars, Israel is claiming that it is magically shooting down all of Iran's incoming missiles and most of Hezbollah's. Those that they say weren't shot down, they claim land in the sea or open areas. However, occasionally a video is released to debunk these claims. Conclusion: assume every wave is striking Israeli targets directly, but accept that Israel will lie and refuse to allow videos. Thank you, Mint Press News. Yes, correct. 100%. Despite admitting the loss of multiple tanks and dozens of security incidents along the Lebanon border, they failed to admit a single soldier death. They are just liars. That video sucks. These are the fires in Iran. This is the weapon sales. We've already covered this. Yep, covered that. All right. Let's do a quick map update and just double check the map. And we'll double check the newest updates. Pillars of fire. Plumes of smoke. This one I thought was interesting. So the question is, are these protests funded? Because more and more it's becoming obvious that...
Is that actually a question? What do you guys think? Do you think that these protests are funded or they are driven by their own passion? Mr. One Boss and Room for Persia for 728 years. Oh, Rome for Persia. Does that mean Rome is supporting Iran? Thank you for joining in on the chat, buddy. And what do you guys think? Are these funded or not funded?
Protests only happen when there's deep state funding behind them. Otherwise, there'd be mass protests over Epstein, right?
Fighting another war, just like the one in Palestine, just like the one in Syria.
I'm not saying that there's nothing to protest over. I'm not saying that there's not real people at the protests. I'm just saying that it seems like these days Americans don't actually organize protests unless there's an NGO infrastructure with dubious payment flows that are sort of supporting the infrastructure of the protests in some way. That's my suspicion more and more and more.
Before, just like the one in...
Why?
Oh. So, yeah. But hundreds of anti-war activists demonstrated in New York City, voicing opposition to the ongoing military campaign against Iran. Fuck yeah, guys. Come on, let's go. U.S. soldiers filmed the drone attack. We saw that one. Assassination attempt in Beirut.
This hotel in downtown Beirut was the subject of an Israeli strike.
Yeah, 100%. The protests that are happening in the United States are absolutely funded. I agree with you, Barry. And I've seen so many videos of them being funded as well, which is wild to me, you know, it's super wild.
Early in the hours of Sunday morning, it came with no warning. It appears to have been a targeted assassination attempt. The projectile struck just one room of the hotel. There's a bit of blast damage to the others. Inside the hotel, there were hundreds of other people, and we've spoken to a number of them this evening. They themselves have been displaced from Dahia after the Israeli military issued another forced evacuation order earlier on Saturday.
أنا كنت عايشة ديجا بالضاحية وأنا تهجرت لهون ديجا و it's not my first time.
Mr. One Boston, this war is about destroying America from within, replacing America. Oh my gosh, man. Heavy, heavy, heavy. I hope you're wrong, dude. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I hope you're wrong, you know. And we're going live every single day of 2026, so make sure y'all like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we're looking for the truth and trying to make your life better.
So Lebanon is Israel's new war. Israel's just decided they're moving into Lebanon. And the war front is greatly expanding in Lebanon. If I turn off video sources only, you can see just how many fucking updates my map has just since March 5th in Lebanon alone.
Wow.
This is just since March 7th, just the last 2 days. All of these updates in Lebanon of Israeli strikes, of displaced people, airstrikes, ground fighting.
Happy to have you all on board.
2 Israeli soldiers killed in southern Lebanon by Hezbollah attack. Hezbollah is fighting back with them. It's a whole thing. Plus, Palestinian refugee camps are getting hit. Palestinians in Gaza and in the West Bank are still getting killed. 2 Palestinians killed in reported settler attack in the West Bank. Reported by the Times of Israel. No legal ramifications whatsoever. It's a giant fucking mess. Video sources only. I think we're set up on our videos for now. Let me check my updater over here and see what else has come in. Here, let me position it so I can show you guys real quick. Israeli strikes in Lebanon kill 394 people, including 83 children over 1 week. Oil tanker struck in the Strait of Hormuz. French President Macron spoke with Iranian President Pezeshkian. U.S. service member died from wounds sustained in Iranian attack in Saudi Arabia. We've still got reports coming in about the girls' school. More confirmations of what exactly happened there. Confirmed. Footage reviewed and geolocated by Bellingcat confirms U.S. Tomahawk missiles hit the girls' primary school in southern Iran that killed 180 people, most of them children. Researcher Trevor Bald notes Israel does not possess Tomahawk missiles. The United States does. Yeah. So the very first fucking action of the war is basically pure propaganda fuel for Iran. And they're producing a whole bunch of propaganda about how the evil demons come over here and murder our little girls. And so now we're fighting this war for our safety and survival. And so, yeah, that's a fucking blunder if I've ever heard of one. Now, let's turn our attention to Tucker and to Chabad and to the propaganda wars and the bigger picture.
The current non-Jewish Messiah was chosen to be of service to the Jewish people and the Jewish Messiah. President Trump's right ear was grazed in a symbolic gesture of Exodus 21:6, where the Torah states that a servant who wants to remain with his master needs to have his right ear pierced. Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one.
What in the world needs to have his right ear pierced? What did we just hear?
21:6, where the Torah states that a servant who wants to remain with his master needs to have his right ear pierced.
Oh my gosh, are they talking about that Trump shooting? Oh my goodness.
Trump was designated as God's servant and anointed one, just like Cyrus the Great almost 2,400 years ago. We have clarified in several videos that the absolute deadline for the redemption is by the end of the Jewish year 5787, which corresponds to October 2nd, 2027, 1,167 days from today.
Mr. One Boston. A polyphemus blinded. He argues that without the guidance of spiritual and intellectual light, the raw power of the people, like a beaten and oppressed mass, shatters itself and the state rather than building liberty. Albert Pike, Morals and Dogma, Chapter 1. Read it. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you.
Thus, the redemption will surely occur during Donald Trump's tenure. and I have good reason to believe Donald Trump was chosen to be the one to redeem the sins of Esav through offering his assistance in rebuilding the Holy Temple on the Temple Mount and establishing the Jewish kingdom over all of mankind in Jerusalem. Perhaps it is no accident that the numeric value of Donald Trump in Hebrew is the same as Messiah, son of David, Mashiach ben David.
If you listen to Donald Trump very closely, his words are parroting Netanyahu. That's wild. That's wild. I haven't actually heard too many of Netanyahu's speeches or any of those types of things. If there's like a video or a link that you could send me, that'd be cool to see, man.
So now we're doing Jewish mystical, magical numerology about how Donald Trump is the Messiah that's going to rebuild the fucking temple on the Mount. Okay, bud.
424. However,
so Ian Carroll's probably not buying it. Is that what I'm understanding?
Donald Trump is mistaken if he thinks he was chosen to make America great again. He will no doubt do a lot of good things to strengthen our economy, protect our borders, and allow religious freedom to flourish. But America will never
Yeah, Barry. Enjoy it, buddy. Bon appetit.
Become a great country on its own, because Esav's days are numbered. All our elite institutions and centers of power and influence are rotten through and through. The majority of Americans under 30 who are college educated and who are the future leaders of America support the vicious monsters of Hamas rather than the holy and courageous soldiers of the IDF. No human being, even Donald Trump, can reverse this. No. The greatness of America does not lie in its own success. America will be great when the Messiah comes. And the leader of this country, on behalf of all the good people in this country, will humbly present himself to the Jewish Messiah and ask him to accept the United States of America.
Mr. One Boston, are you talking about a video where Trump is saying that he's going to become a slave? Himself?
To a new alliance of countries who accept the leadership of the Messiah.
So maybe I'm getting this wrong, but if I speak English, I'm pretty sure that he just said the Jews are going to rule the world and America can come and bow at our feet and beg for Jewish supremacy, and maybe we'll be kind and give it to them. That's pretty much what was just said, right? Yeah, just a conspiracy theory, huh? Just a conspiracy theory. This guy's a pretty conspiratorial piece of shit.
A new United Nations will replace the current cesspool that goes by that fraudulent name.
A new United Jewish Nations, by the way.
A real United Nations, united to serve God.
United to serve the Jewish God.
Led by the Messiah and
led by the Jews.
Based in Jerusalem.
And based in Jerusalem. Literally, this is their plan. Openly speaking.
And my feeling is that the United States under President Trump will be the first nation to join.
Yo, does that sound good? You want to join? How many goy are trying to sign up? You trying to sign up, good goy? Trying to be a good goy? Yeah. How about not? How about fucking not? See, we have this thing in our country called freedom of religion, which means freedom to be like, nah, bro. Get fucked. Get fucked. And thankfully, Tucker Carlson's been telling them to get fucked. Thankfully, we got Tucker Carlson out here causing problems. So we're going to watch a couple of Tucker clips and just be grateful for whatever the fuck Tucker is up to. I'm feeling very grateful for it.
The video, I've been dreaming about this for 40 years. We've finally done it. So this is the culmination of a long time plan, of a strategy. And actually, if you look at it backwards and try to assess recent events, even in this country, in American political life over the past several years, certainly over the past 6 or 8 months, you can see that a lot of what was happening here was preparation for where we are right now. In other words,
heavy. My goodness, Tucker Carlson. Relax, buddy. Bring in the juice.
Words, people who wanted war in Iran were softening up the public for it, were manipulating the U.S. government in order to affect it, and were doing their very best to silence anyone who doubted its wisdom.
Lindsey Graham just got caught colluding with the enemy, giving Bibi pointers on how to manipulate Donald Trump into war. That's what we call treason. And I'm pretty sure it carries the death penalty. So, yeah.
A lot of the things we have seen in the recent past.
Yes, treason can be punished by death in the United States. Under 18 U.S. Code 2381, individuals convicted of treason against the U.S. may face the death penalty or no less than 5 years in prison plus fines. It is one of the few federal crimes punishable by death, though no one has been executed for it since 1862.
And now it's very obvious, they were all designed to get us to where we are now. War with Iran on behalf of Israel.
Amen, Tucker. Amen. He talks about Rubio's statements.
Hegemony. Super. But were they actually about to get?
Mr. One Boston, I don't even want to read that stuff. That is so wild, bro. So wild. My goodness. Thank you for joining in on the chat.
One. No. So what was the point? What is the point of this from Israel's perspective? Well, the point is regional hegemony. Super simple. Israel has been around for almost 80 years. Israel has nuclear weapons. Israel's got a pretty robust tech economy. But above all, Israel has big ambitions. And by the way, not an attack on Israel. Which growing country doesn't have greater ambitions? And which megalomaniacal leader of said country, and there are many of those around the world, by the way, wouldn't want regional hegemony? Regional hegemony means you get to control your region. Kind of a Middle Eastern Monroe doctrine.
Except that they think their region is all the dominion of the earth, all of humanity, because they are God's chosen people, and they think that they rule over everybody. So it's a little different.
Israel wants to be able to determine, roughly speaking, what happens in its region, and it does
all over the world. All over the world.
Doesn't want constraints on its own behavior. In the same way, again, trying to be as generous and universally minded as possible here in this analysis, because it's true. Who wouldn't want that? Do we want that? Of course we do. We're not, we put up with a lot from Mexico and Canada, but if they all of a sudden started constraining our actual ambitions, we'd do something about it. I think, or the old America would have, a normal country would. And Israel wants to control the Middle East. And they're the only announced nuclear power in the Middle East. Are they the only actual nuclear power in the Middle East? You could debate that. Or people can guess. But they're the only country we know for certain has a big nuclear arsenal.
But they're not announced, just to clarify, Tucker. They're not announced. They still try to pretend like they don't have nukes. They still somehow fucking try to uphold this ridiculous charade as though like, oh, we've got like, who knows if we have a nuclear program. I mean, like, okay, whatever. We're not retarded. He made the pretty dramatic
in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. It's a fashion disorder because they are rivals of Israel. So it's probably not, hasn't been reported, but it's a fact that last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in two Gulf countries?
Well, we know exactly why they would be. And a whole firestorm fucking erupted from these claims, and all the Israel bots online tried to like come back out with all this evidence of like Tucker's making shit up. He got it all wrong. Look, this guy from Qatar said that Qatar didn't actually do this. It's like, bitch, we weren't born yesterday. We know how the information space works. We know that reporting on this kind of stuff is complicated. We know that intelligence operations are often wrapped up and covered up. We know. Israel has shills all over the world. Certainly Tucker's sourcing is not infallible. It's not necessarily 100% true just because he said it. But Tucker's got some pretty fucking deep sourcing all around the world. He's got some pretty deep sourcing. He knows some people. And he didn't just make that claim up out of nowhere. He said that because sources of his that are very much embedded and in the know in those countries or in American intelligence told him with enough certainty that he felt comfortable saying that. So, yeah. But that didn't stop the whole Israel shillbot world from losing their minds.
The Iranians said they didn't do it. Why would they say they didn't do it? What?
We're talking about the Saudi Aramco attack, where Iran allegedly bombed Saudi Aramco's oil infrastructure. Iran came out immediately and said, we did not do that. Israel did that. That was a false flag.
Possible Israel did it. Why wouldn't they? Because if you think about it,
why wouldn't they?
Scaring our other allies in the region, letting them know that they can get attacked and the U.S. will not defend you. You put up with all this crap for decades because you got American troops on your soil and your population doesn't like it, but you do it anyway because you've been told if there was ever a problem, the U.S. will come rescue you. Well, guess what we just learned? The U.S. is not coming to rescue you. There are hundreds of thousands of Americans, civilians, caught in the Middle East tonight. Can't get out.
Yep.
And the governments of those countries are panicked and they're enraged. And the message to them is the U.S. is not a reliable partner. What's the point of this partnership? What's the point of allowing you to have an air base in my country if when missiles come raining down or drones attack our airport, our international airport, you're not going to do anything about it?
And actually, all those things are happening because we started a fucking war over there. Well, because Israel did it and we just sucked their dick. But it's been reported quite prominently, quite conclusively, that as the interceptor stockpiles have gone down, as in the defensive missile capability of Israel and the U.S. to intercept incoming, to defend ground targets, as that has been depleted, we've moved all of our fucking defenses over to Israel and left all these Middle Eastern nations wide open. The actual allies that actually let us have bases, that actually have been supporting American infrastructure in the Middle East for decades, we're just letting them sit wide open, sitting ducks. Their desalination plants are wide open. Their oil infrastructure is wide open. Their military bases are wide open. All their shit wide open because we don't have enough fucking interceptors to protect any of them. We don't even have enough interceptors to protect Israel, but we're just moving it all to Israel to protect Israel. And it doesn't sound like it's going too good. It sounds like Israel's getting fucking pummeled. And it sounds like they're doing their best to pretend like everything's good. But we have seen some crazy videos lately of some crazy fucking missiles coming down on Israel. And it's a little hard to tell what's real, but something is definitely real out there. Something is definitely going on. Might be the last piece I want to grab from
Israel,
this first
at least
video.
One well-known rabbi is calling for a false flag against that mosque. Just blow it up and blame.
This started the firestorm, and thankfully Tucker's been doubling down.
The Iranians. And the truth is, whether the Iranians blow it up intentionally or unlikely, but let's just say, or by mistake, or there's a false flag by Israel, it blames Iran, it doesn't matter. If it blows up, that's not a solvable problem. That's the end of everything that we know. And that's an enduring, generational, 1,000-year, as long as the world lasts, religious conflict that no one wants to be a part of. Only the craziest, darkest people want any part of that at all.
So he's referring to a Israeli strike disguised as an Iranian strike hitting the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the site of the temple, the Jewish temple that was destroyed. The second or third holiest site in Islam. That would trigger the global religious war. That would be real fucked. Real bad. There would be no coming back from that. And there are open calls in Israel to destroy it. And we'll get to that video in just a second. But first, I want to just
the U.S. government who do not put the United States. These things happen. And they've completely lost sight of that. And that gets to a deeper and more taboo problem, which is a real problem and whose fruits we're seeing now, which is There are a bunch of people in the U.S. government who do not put the United States before the interests of Israel, period. And you saw that very clearly with Mike Huckabee. We interviewed him last week in Tel Aviv. And there was no sense at all that he represents the United States or has any interest in what happens to the United States. At all. His party is in defending Israel. Now, Huckabee, thank heaven, is not Jewish. He's like some kind of, who knows what his religion is, but he's not Jewish, so you can't, it's not anti-Semitic to say that. It's just a fact. Mike Huckabee's loyalty is to Israel over the United States. But he's hardly alone in that. How could there possibly be, in 2026, a dual citizen sharing citizenship with any other country, including Israel, but not limited to Israel, any country? How could there be any dual citizen at a high level of government? You can't serve two masters. You can't be loyal to two countries simultaneously. This is why we're against polygamy in the West, right?
Yeah, because we all know which master they actually serve. We all know which country they actually care about. Dancing Israelis. I didn't actually realize that he...
And then all those people on the internet were like, oh, the dancing Israelis, they did it. Israel had foreknowledge of 9/11. There were text messages sent to Israel. Warning of 9/11. All true, by the way.
Oh, yep, all true. Yeah, we did a whole fucking show about it, if you missed it.
What does that add up to? Maybe nothing. I don't know.
Oh, it's not nothing. And you do know, Tucker, but you're being smart about it. Don't worry. I'll take that one. I'll fucking get out there and be that piece of shit that talks about it. You're doing important work, bud.
They won't declassify the files. They lie about it. Why? Just tell the truth.
I'm sure it's nothing.
And by the way,
I'm sure it's just a coincidence. So, let's get into his video from 3 days ago.
Explicitly, this is a religious war. On tape saying to a gaggle of reporters is just layer, but much of the rest of the world is highly aware of. And that is a religious layer. Now, Lindsey Graham is on tape saying to a gaggle of reporters, his bloodshot eyes, his puffy face, God knows what he's been doing, saying explicitly this.
He's been doing some gay shit, that's for sure. Some pretty gay shit. Some pretty goy-ass shit, if you ask me.
Is a religious war. This is a religious war. Now, his motive in saying that, he's not here to answer the question. We can only guess. Is he trying to foment a religious war? Probably. He's an end times kind of guy. But it almost doesn't matter. He's telling the truth for once. This is a religious war, fundamentally. And that is not obvious to most Americans because this is the most secular society, not just the United States, but the West, the English-speaking world, Europe and the U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand. In history, there's never been a more godless, to be blunt about it, a more secular
Nailed it, Tucker.
society at scale. Never. Nothing approaching this has ever happened, ever. Every society is fundamentally a religious society, explicitly religious except ours. So we lack the terms to describe what we're seeing, and we lack the imagination to think about it. And, well, to quote Jesus, we have the eyes, but we cannot see.
Yes. Because people tried to push back on him for these claims that it's a religious war. It's not a religious war. It's not a religious war. Not for America, it's not. It's not America's war. It's Israel's war. And for Israel, it is an explicitly religious war with explicitly religious goals.
Islam. And it has been Al-Aqsa. And that spot is one of three holy places, apparently co-equal holy places, in Islam. Mecca, Medina, Dome of the Rock, Al-Aqsa. So that is at the very center of Judaism. I mean, physically the center of Judaism. That spot, that exact spot over the foundation stone. And Islam. And it has been occupied by a mosque. A mosque has been sitting there since the 7th century, since the late 600s. Amazing. You may be...
How wild is that? My goodness.
Dimly aware of this? Now, why go on at length about this? Because now is the moment, right now, like this...
Chat, Israel's G-spot. Yeah. It's funny, but it's kind of backwards because fuck Israel's G-spot. Fuck that.
week is the moment that some people, not a huge number, most people, Christians, Jews, Muslims, are not fully aware of all this, but some people are highly aware of it and would like to begin the process of tearing down the Dome of the Rock, tearing down Al-Aqsa Mosque, and rebuilding the Third Temple. Now, there are a lot of things to say about
Is that going to happen? What do you guys think?
this, about its likelihood, the potential effects of it. But first, just a quick side note on the theology of this from a Christian point of view. Now, it was Jesus who said this temple will be torn down, shocking everyone around him. It's in the Gospels. Wow. It's in at least a couple of the Gospels. And the people who heard it just couldn't believe it. And of course, the people running the temple, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, were gravely offended by it. Why wouldn't they be? But then it happened. Less than 40 years later, it actually happened. He was right. He called it. And so from a Christian perspective, he did that. God called for the destruction of the temple. And as Jesus says plainly in the Gospels, I'm the temple. I'm the temple now. The temple will be rebuilt after 3 days. When I'm resurrected, I am the new temple. It says that. But there has been at least one attempt in the last 2,000 years to rebuild a physical third temple. And it happened in the 4th century. And it happened, without getting too far afield, shortly after the death of Constantine. Now, Constantine was the 4th century Roman emperor who converted to Christianity and very famously turned the Roman Empire Christian, thereby spreading Christianity basically instantly across the West, where it's remained, more or less, ever since. That was in the 300s, the 4th century. Now, I
wonder what Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee would have to say about the gospel's perspective on the temple.
His nephew became emperor not long after he died, and his name was Julian, referred to very often by Christian historians as Julian the Apostate, and he was an apostate. He was the last non-Christian emperor of Rome, of the Roman Empire, and he had been born a Christian.
Yeah, we won't get into all the history of the theology there. We'll get into this.
Well, what are we by his accent describing why he's a weird anti-Christian reason posing as Christianity? But it's not just the U.S. side. Here's an IDF soldier, apparently an American by his accent, describing why he's at war. Watch this.
Important to note the American by his accent, because remember, the IDF is composed of Jews from all around the world that just want to go fight and kill Palestinians. So that's awkward.
All this operation to swords of iron. But what are we really fighting for? We're fighting for the right of the Jewish people to exist, be Jewish, practice their religion, and be free. And one day our true leader will come and we'll be united as a whole Jewish nation so we can rebuild the Beit HaMikdash.
Beit HaMikdash, probably mispronouncing it. That's the Hebrew term for the temple, the third temple. We are doing this so we can rebuild the temple. Now, you'll notice he's pulling off patches on Velcro on his IDF uniform. These are not civilian clothes. This is the uniform of the government of Israel, of its military. And he has patches on that uniform, one of which is a symbol of the temple, the third temple. So it just couldn't be clearer. Why are we doing this? To rebuild the third temple. Now, if you...
Yep. Yes, sir. Oh,
Chabad. Chabad. See,
let's get into Chabad. I like calling it Chabad. Chabad.
As noted, we have eyes but can't see and ears and can't hear, but this has been going on a long time in public through, in part, the efforts of a group called Chabad, Chabad. And you may know people who give money to Chabad or run.
When Tucker talked about Chabad for the first time, Chabad, they lost their fucking minds. It was very clear that Tucker had just touched upon a very sensitive nerve. Chabad is the organization that has all the Jewish dudes with their hats and their beards and shit with photos of every world leader all around that look very sketchy. Very sketchy. They're the photos that get circulated with the Jews run the world memes to be like, hey, this is weird. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. How'd this photo happen? Chabad is a charity organization, but when you actually start to dig into the underbelly of Chabad, some very weird things start to pop up. Some very weird movements of money. Some very weird activities. Sometimes some tunnels and some poop mattresses pop out of nowhere. Like, as in out of the largest Chabad temple, synagogue, I guess, in New York City. If you don't remember. Yeah, that was Chabad Lubavitch in New York City. There's some very dark underbellies to Chabad. As with most Jewish organizations, a striking number of Jewish organizations are one thing on the top and actually a different thing underneath, like more of a intelligence agency type of operation, or a organized crime type of organization, or just a global Judaism networking organization that gets inherently tied into Israeli activities and other global don't look there activities. And Chabad is one of the biggest, one of the most important, one of the most influential. And from the way that Tucker just touched it and the internet of Jews lost its mind, it became very apparent that this is a sacred cow. And there is a reason. And so we're going to look there. We should probably look there. We should all probably be asking questions about Chabad. Just like when Candace poked the first man in the French presidency, Brigitte, and suddenly just this crazy cacophony of attacks came after her. Interesting. Why is that? Couldn't be the Rothschild connections there, could it? Or could it?
And Chabad, super nice people, engaged in all kinds of charitable activities, drug rehab. You know, there's a lot about Chabad that's really good. But what is Chabad exactly? Well, Chabad, you can look it up, is a very old organization, about 250 years old. And it's a branch of Hasidic Judaism. It's an organization that was overseen for many years by a guy called Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, who was famously in Brooklyn, considered the Messiah by some of his followers, who was a friend of presidents, or certainly someone presidents visited. He was a very powerful man in the Orthodox and the Hasidic community. And he was the overseer of Chabad, which predated him and outlasted him, but he was its most visible ambassador. And Chabad has been pushing in a pretty subtle way, unless you look carefully, for the reconstruction of the Third Temple. And it seems like, from the reading we did recently, that those patches actually came from Chabad. Well, in any case, Chabad is pushing for the building of the Third Temple. But it's not just Hasidic groups from Brooklyn, and it's not just IDF soldiers. There are, amazingly, a lot of American evangelical leaders, Christian Zionists, whose main point is rebuilding the Third Temple. Now, how could crack the temple? That's Christian.
Going to be Greg Locke?
Not Christian. Leaders.
Now been cut off.
Yeah.
Locke. Listen to this.
Pastor the Gaza Strip, which has now been cut off by Israel, and rightly so. They should have cut them off long.
This is a Christian pastor, by the way. A Christian pastor.
Time ago. I don't care how insensitive you think I am to that. There's 6 doors in this church. You can leave anytime you want to.
Can't you see the Christianity all over the stage?
They've cut them off, electricity. They've cut off their water. They should have. Now, listen, I'm not for hurting anyone that's innocent. But anybody that supports terrorism is not innocent. You understand that?
You fucking retards. Open your mouths. I'm about to pour some propaganda down it. You fucking retards. Oh, boy.
Israel should make the Gaza Strip a parking lot by this time next week. Destroy the whole thing.
That's called genocide.
What they ought to do is evacuate up there on the hill and get a great big missile and blow that wicked dome of the rock plumb off of the spot where it's standing right now, so we can get that third temple rebuilt and usher in the coming of Jesus.
Right? Right? Holy shit. Psychopaths. With the music and everything, right? Yeah, the piano player, right, Morgan? Holy shit.
We're trying to figure out the truth behind all this. We're going live every single day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And is this actually true? Is it?
Boy, it is embarrassing and shameful as an American Christian to hear that and to know that video is from a few years ago. It's been on the internet. No one bothered to highlight it. Most people weren't even aware this was going on. Oh, it's definitely going on.
From a few years ago?
Oh, yeah. Gigi, go lie down. She's all bumping the camera and shit. But it's not just Pastor
This is
Greg
2018.
Today, Jennifer and I and others had a chance to go see the western wall of the Temple Mount, the western wall tunnels, so much of the old city. And as you stand there, you can't help but behold the miracle before you. And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far.
Stacy, you're a legend. Thank you for being a light in the darkness of Pete Hegseth's fucking chode ass presence. If you didn't know, we're watching the current Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth.
Far away. Because 1917 was a miracle. 1948 was a miracle. 1967 was a miracle. 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle. And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the...
He's literally at the King David Hotel, the site of the first terrorism in the world, where Israel bombed a bunch of British people and other tourists and foreigners, white people, in order to get them to fucking leave. Where the early... The groups, the terrorist groups that would become the IDF fucking bombed all of the British civilians at the King David Hotel. Look it up. He's literally at that hotel right now, talking about all the miracles of Israel. You really cannot make this shit up.
Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen.
What is that? That's the Secretary of War right now, overseeing the war with Iran that people fighting it are starting to say actually is about rebuilding this third temple. It's the same man. Okay, this is the point where you begin to think, maybe we should have talked about this.
Yeah,
an ongoing conflict with Iran, much less intense than the current conflict we're seeing with Iran, to destroy the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa. Watch this.
This is an Israeli politician in the Israeli parliament, halls of government.
If it was up to me, the last time when they shot hundreds of missiles, I would pretend that one missile came from Iran and shoot it down. You know? Then all the Arabs will go against Iran and it will be the end of the problems. You make them fight with each other, this bunch of lunatics. Never too late. You deal with a bunch of cowards.
That's a fat, retarded psychopath that thinks that he's anointed by God, but he's just anointed by eating too much slop, maybe a little bit of inbreeding, maybe a little bit of worse shit. Look at him. I would just shoot it down. Make all the vermin fight each other. All the goyim, we trick them. They do not understand our propaganda. For real. One more time.
Watch this.
If it was up to me, the last time when they shot hundreds of missiles, I would pretend that one missile came from Iran and shoot it down. You know, then all the Arabs will go against Iran and it will be the end of the problems.
It'll be the end of the problems, like my hairline.
Is this real or is this fake?
God's chosen people, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, his tiny hat is too tight and it's getting too big. It's not tiny enough, bro. The tiny hats are growing. Literally and metaphorically.
You make them fight with each other, this bunch of lunatics. Never too late. You deal with a bunch of cowards.
A bunch of cowards. Right. So, back to the conflict
4
here.
days of this conflict, we have expended 400 of those systems, which means that's 100 per day with the operational and tempo not ceasing. In 2026, the budget request was only for 59 new missiles. We need several hundreds every year. The reason we're getting such low numbers, Tucker, is because our defense industrial base is broken and we have no business starting a world war or a major regional war as we are in the process of doing. So I believe the real...
It's because they've been spending so much fucking money on their new AI control grid. They've been spending so much money on manufacturing pandemics and fake solutions and locking everybody down. They've been making money in other ways. They lost track of how they used to make money, which was building bombs and deploying them. I mean, they are still building lots of bombs. They just got really comfortable carpet bombing kids in Gaza and making money off of that. They didn't really think to try to make money off of building defensive infrastructure for actual military conflict with a real enemy. Whoops. And so now we don't have enough fucking missiles to actually fight a real enemy, fucking cowards. Because we've been getting rich off of killing kids.
Reason the U.S. and Israeli militaries are starting to get more daring and dangerous with their airstrikes is because they cannot afford to blow through the munitions that are already depleting. And it is in fact a race to depletion between us and Iran. And right now, I think the Iranians still have a very sizable unused...
It's a race to depletion.
Increasingly sophisticated missile arsenal. Colonel Rob Manus is a friend of mine. He's a former Air Force colonel. He disagrees with me. He says, look, these missiles that are being popped off by Iran are basically a bunch of dead enders. It's going to fizzle out. And Hegseth made a sort of argument about that today, that there was a decrease. But I actually think that those dead enders, if that's what you want to call them, actually are probably still combat effective. And that is why we are now having to still continue the war, even though we have blown through these standoff munitions.
And it looks like Iran fired off all of its old shit first, used up all of our defensive capabilities, and they've got a whole bunch of high-tech shit just sitting in the wings. Not to mention they've got this crazy drone program that's just manufacturing thousands of drones that are like these like pretty cheap suicide kamikaze drones that use up $1 million defensive missiles. Or they break through and fucking blow up desalination plants and oil infrastructure and bases. And Iran's got all these crazy fucking cluster missiles that break up into like 48 different warheads and just rain down fucking terror from above. It's crazy. It's real fucked up. It's horrifying.
Which really were protecting our people. In fact, I got word from a source of mine who's monitoring this on open source, which it looks like the USS Abraham Lincoln is going to be repositioned to within anti-ship ballistic missile range of Iran. So either...
There's a whole bunch of repositioning of U.S. military assets and U.S. warships and an entire carrier because it seems like we didn't have enough shit in there to fight this conflict. It seems like we were acting on bad intelligence or in a rush, and suddenly we need a whole bunch more shit. And so basically the entire U.S. Global fleet is repositioning. A whole bunch of new planes are being brought in. A whole bunch of new infrastructure is being brought in, which is not something we would expect to see if we were prepared from the beginning.
The U.S. really believes we've degraded the Iranian capabilities sufficiently, or we're just throwing caution to the wind because we got to get this thing over before we run out of materials. And that'll probably start happening this weekend.
Do we know how much the material count of Iran is? Like, what's happening in Iran?
This is not a surprise to people who watched carefully the few days in the run-up to this conflict where there were uniformed servicemen. I mean, there were flag officers who apparently made this
Vice
case.
Admiral Kocher. Yes.
Exactly. That we just don't have the munitions to sustain any kind of real conflict.
So, this post... Okay, cool.
They said that, right?
I was looking for
in
confirmation
fact,
that this
it is
post
my
I'm looking at was AI.
understanding, and this is, again, take from this what you will. It is my understanding that last Friday, the order went out at 3:38 p.m. Eastern. Before that, there was a, quote, particularly contentious meeting between General Dan Raisin Kane, who is Trump's hand-picked chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He was pulled out of retirement by Trump, so this is Trump's guy. And Kane tried to get to the word to the president that this thing is not going to go like you think it is. This is not Venezuela. This is a very different operation. And the president, for whatever reason, still decided to ignore the best military advice he got and went forward with this. In turn, Vice Admiral Fred Kocher, who was an adjutant basically to Kane, leaked parts of that meeting to, I think it was Reuters. Now, the question that I've been hearing from people is, was that Kocher acting on his own volition, or was that in fact Kocher executing some kind of informal order from Dan Kane, because Kane is... The rest of the military is the high level is very worried about the blowback from this operation. And it is my contention that the permanent bureaucracy is desperately trying to push blame.
Are they going to talk about Bahrain and the desalination plants?
Blame away from itself to the politicians, and even as we're seeing Marco Rubio now, to Israel itself.
And Israel itself is not looking too hot. We don't need your music. Thank you very much. As imagery comes out after strikes through the night, Israel's getting hammered.
Oh, man.
We're getting a little more footage every day coming through of strike zones in Israel. Footage of fire in Tel Aviv. Hezbollah struck Haifa Naval Base, Ramat David Air Base, and Tel HaShomer Base. Kuwait's Ali Al-Salem base is on fire. Iran, having drained interceptor reserves and taking out radar installations, is now rolling out its newer missiles. Ben Gurion Airport was struck, though they tried to pretend that it wasn't. The Iron Dome doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. I actually saw a really interesting conspiracy theory post the other day that the Iron Dome is fucking fake. That was interesting. Had not heard that one before. But
yeah, how did anything get in through the Iron Dome? The Iron Dome stops everything, right?
Kind of a compelling argument that maybe we'll talk about.
Of Tel Aviv. An Iranian strike deep in the heart of Tel Aviv. For the fifth straight day, the skies above the city lit up as Israel's air defense system intercepted one Iranian missile after another.
And certainly, more damage is being done to Iran. That's going to always be the case in asymmetric warfare. But Iran doesn't need to do a whole lot of damage to the coalition in order to fuck shit up. And Iran has the infinitely defensible position. Iran is the defender. They just have to not all die. And we don't have any plan to get ground troops in there, which we should not do. We don't have any plan to affect regime change. We don't have any plan to effectively stop their nuclear capabilities, their nuclear production deep underground. All the bunker busters got used up.
Man, it is a mess over there. My goodness.
All the interceptors seem to be getting used up. And it looks like every day Israel and the allies are just more and more defenseless and more wide open.
Is that true? Is that actually true?
like, I don't know, but he said that we're depleted a little bit on the, and I'm paraphrasing, on the lower level weapons, but we've got enough higher end and middle tier weapons to fight forever. Well, the higher end weapons would be things like, I don't know, low yield nuclear weapons.
Right.
And, you don't want to think that an American president would go there, especially over something like this, where we weren't attacked, which we were not. And I'm not a fan of the Iranian regime, and they do support terror, but we were not attacked. The Israelis weren't even attacked. This was all sort of the machinations of Netanyahu's worst fears. It is my concern that if we truly are reaching depletion, that we might have an incident where a nuke is used. And, it's not the likeliest, but it's no longer impossible. It's now moved into sort of the realm of it could happen. And the longer this goes on, and the more that we run through these stockpiles, and if we start losing planes to some of the remaining Iranian air defense systems, then we're going to have some problems. And I want to also say something about the strategic side. I was on.
That would be so fucked up. That is the worst case scenario on the fucking planet. There is absolutely no scenario where a nuke should be used right now. No. That would be one of the most truly concerning things in this entire, calm the fuck down, guys. I have no idea what China and Russia would do, but it would not be comfortable. Nothing would be comfortable. That is a worst case scenario. Cannot happen.
How you doing, Warrior Party? How you doing, Wina 0811? Thank you for joining.
Defense systems were in these Arab countries were sent over.
So this is what I was talking about our defense systems being redeployed to Israel.
Over to Israel.
Yeah.
And they actually left our own bases and people vulnerable. Our own government did, to protect Israeli targets.
And now they are covering up what looks like mounting U.S. casualty figures to try to hide the fact that they're sending all their defenses over to Israel to try to protect Israel and leaving our troops wide open.
It's rather than to protect our men and women in uniform.
Do you believe that's true? Do you believe the U.S. government prioritized Israel over our own troops?
If you had asked me this a year or two ago, I would have said no way. But after seeing that Huckabee interview, by the way, bravo. After seeing that Huckabee interview, I can't imagine how we didn't do that. I mean, it is very clear that.
Yeah.
I hope that is inaccurate. My goodness.
Exactly. So let's get into the most recent, I believe, Tucker video. I think it's the most recent one. Yeah. From just a couple days ago.
Innocent of all, which are kids who are being told by adults that they could be killed for who they are. Now, think about that for a second. Think about a PR campaign or a propaganda campaign designed to make people terrified for their lives, which is what the Israeli campaign is. Telling Americans that they could be killed, that anti-Semitism in the United States is so terrible, being ginned up by people like me and other people online, that they could be killed. Imagine, that's not true at all, but imagine being so unscrupulous that you would terrify kids in order to silence criticism of your territorial expansion campaign, which is
yeah, exactly what's happening. Propagandizing children, and actually by creating the fear in Jews take the actions that incites more anti-Semitism because they squad up and get all Jewy about it, start freaking out, start trying to censor people's speech, start trying to take people's businesses away, start debanking people because like, oh my gosh, you're going to kill us. It's like, no one's going to fucking kill you. Just stop starting wars and stop trafficking our kids, blackmailing our politicians, and trying to censor our free speech. Just fucking stop. Just be a regular people. Just relax. There's plenty of Jews that have figured it out. Plenty of Jews that are just being regular people out here.
What if instead of designing...
But by propagandizing their people so hard and telling them that they're God's chosen, that they're specialer than everyone else, That's what you wind up with, is with a death cult, a gigantic death cult that spans the globe, that is now fighting for its very survival by killing kids, bombing civilians, dragging a bunch of countries into potentially World War III, fucking with our rights and our government and our money. It's a giant mess. It's a giant mess.
Israel wants to be bigger. They want their regional rivals out of the way. They want to weaken the United States, get us out of the Middle East, and they want to weaken Western Europe, which they just hate on for whatever reason.
Tucker is just getting more and more based every day, dude. Speaking the truth.
They truly hate Western Europe, which is one of the reasons the Israeli government has helped move migrants into Europe to weaken and destroy it. What is that? I don't really know the answer, but it's...
As well as into the United States. Looking at the Jewish refugee pipeline. Charlie Kirk knew about the Jewish refugee pipeline. The liberal Jewish organizations that are strung together all up South and Central America through Mexico right up to our border, and then helps with all of that on the American side as well. Look up Jewish Family Services. There's a whole network of Jewish NGOs that facilitate immigration, legal or otherwise.
It's demonstrable. They hate Western Europe. And so whatever their bizarre agenda is, in order to stop criticism of it, they're telling Americans, including children, that they could be killed.
Yep. Yes, sir. So he had Sagar on Jetty
is in question right now.
Sagar and Jetty.
Sagar's been doing great reporting throughout this.
Sagar, thank you very much for doing this. I've been thinking of you all week. Let's start just with the overview. What have you learned since this war began?
Well, Tucker, unfortunately, and I'm very sad to say this, is that our very sovereignty is in question right now. The Secretary of State made perhaps one of the most remarkable statements of my entire life and perhaps in modern history when he declared unequivocally that we are involved in this war as a result of the either inability or the adherence to an Israeli strike that was going to happen on Tehran. This reveals a lot of different things about our government, our structure. We were either unable to exert pressure on Israel to avoid such a war. We either acquiesced to it, and both are terrifying in their result because we are, of course, the global superpower, and Israel is a...
Not anymore, we're not. Not for a long time, we haven't been, it turns out. Actually, we're just a great global puppet. Actually. And Sagar, your mic sucks, bro. Come on, get it together. Get it together, bro.
This. We just got a very troubling jobs report, 92,000 losses in the economy. We actually saw unemployment tick up for native-born Americans. That is the very opposite of what Donald Trump wanted on the campaign trail. An oil analyst that I deeply respect, I spoke to him this morning. If the Straits of Hormuz remain closed, he projects oil at $200 per barrel. This is a disaster, a full-fledged disaster. The very day you and I are speaking, again, gas prices are at the highest price in Donald Trump's entire presidency. Now,
and remember, gas prices don't just affect the price that you're paying for gas at the pump. Gas prices affect everything. Food, healthcare, supplies, water, your mom. Dude, like everything runs on oil. And oil runs on the Jews wanting to take over Iran, apparently. So, more nuclear conversation.
Conditional surrender means foreign troops get to rape your wife and daughter if they want. And everyone knows that. And that has been, if there's one consistent lesson of history, it means unconditional surrender means...
Wasn't the price of oil supposed to drop after the whole Venezuela thing because Trump overtook a few of these boats that are carrying oil tankers?
Foreign troops get to rape your wife and daughter. Everyone can feel that. That's like the most atavistic instinct there is. And so to avoid that, people will do anything. And so that's why it requires that level of force to get a population subdued to the point of unconditional surrender. That's why. And so in this case, of course, we don't have the ground force necessary. I don't think Americans would voluntarily participate in it. I just don't think we can do that. It would require weapons of mass destruction. It would require presumably nuclear weapons in order to do that. And let's not lie to ourselves. We're moving toward that.
Yes, and that is another important point that I think you have been highlighting here, is if you look at the decision matrix where everything is about upping the ante. A good friend of mine actually pointed out many of the Vietnam aspects that were already starting to climb. So you watch very quickly. We thought we could just decapitate the Ayatollah and they would crawl over and make a deal. It didn't happen. So then what happens? We have to start bombing.
That would be great if it did happen, you know, where avoid a war.
Oh, I was tripping out, dude. Gigi's having the craziest dream in the other room right now, and she just was like chasing a fucking chicken or something in her dream, and she just started going like burp, 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 burp. That was weird. I was like, what the fuck is that noise?
The police stations, the border guards, to be able to make sure that these Kurdish CIA-backed groups can make an incursion, that they can start their civil war in part of the country, distract the security force. At every step, when the Iranians reject an American overture, the natural choice of the American president will be escalation and bombing.
Because that's all that President Trump knows how to do. Because he doesn't know how to do anything except what Israel tells him to do. And we all know what Israel wants and what they will do to get it. And they have no qualms about using nuclear weapons to get it. So honestly, at this point, I would feel a lot safer if Iran did have a nuke. Because I feel very unsafe with Israel pushing us closer and closer to the nuclear option just because they started a war that they couldn't fucking win. That's fucked up, dude. That's so fucked. They started it. They can't even fight it. That's like the most little bitch ass energy on the planet. And none of it would be happening. If Iran had nukes, there would be no war. Israel there would be no war. Israel's the problem here. Israel's the one that needs to be restrained. Israel's the one blackmailing everybody. Israel's the one threatening everybody. Israel's the one destroying everything. We all know it. All of America's waking up to it. Like, call me crazy, but if there was no Israel, none of this would have happened. Everyone would just be fucking having an economy out here. And the economy would probably have a lot less fucking, shall we say, financial crimes in it. A lot less digital mass surveillance in it.
Of the Iran war, Poland has now declared their intent to try to become a nuclear power, a nuclear armed state. France said they are going to increase the amount of nuclear weapons that they have under production, and they are no longer going to publicize them. South Korea and Japan are going to be having some very serious discussions around this. So in an ostensible war over a nuclear program, we've actually probably inspired more nuclear proliferation than even the war in Iraq, which I did not think was ever possible. So,
yeah, good point, Sagar.
Israeli empire to replace
the next several months. And so we're probably going to watch that happen now with Iran. It's the same dynamic that always plays out.
And the point, of course, is to build Israeli empire to replace American empire, which is dying, hastened by this war with Israeli empire. And
he's finally saying it. He's finally there. You are correct, Tucker. Yes, that is exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly what their goal is. Slowly sucking the host dry and attempting to rise from the ashes on the way down. This is their one shot. It's Israel's endgame. And we're all watching. We are all watching the parasite attempt to overtake the host and transform into the global superpower, into the global domination with their AI surveillance control grid based in Jerusalem, their Antichrist, built in their third temple, dominating the world with their non-existent nuclear program and their speech laws. All for your own good, you hateful bigot.
One thing I notice, I can't contain myself and have to express it, but when you say that the Israelis are destroying Beirut, which is, having been to a lot of places in the world, one of the prettiest places on the globe. Beirut is just is a marvel. It's beautiful. It reminds me, and it's being destroyed by Israel, which is one of the single ugliest countries in the world. Nothing of beauty has been built there since 1948. Sorry.
That is a new statement for Tucker. Tucker, you have arrived. I've never been to Israel. I don't know how pretty it is, but I've seen videos. I've seen the street view. It don't look too hot. It's a fucking desert. It's a desert full of Jews killing kids. Yeah. That is a new statement for Tucker. And obviously the Jews online fucking lost their minds over that. Over everything.
Everywhere in that country, and it's true. That the nature of this emerging empire is destructive, and it always seems like beautiful things wind up being destroyed. Europe, right? Beirut, parts of Syria, the holy sites. I don't, parts of Iran are apparently.
America. Yeah. Yeah, Tucker, you are getting there.
So as I said, I flew up to D.C. 3 times in the last month to try to convince Trump not to do this. It didn't work. It happens. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, boy.
3 times. 3 times.
This is not going to get better. So then I think I'll fly up again and ask him. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is doing it, so I'm going to try.
Remember, the last guy that flew to the White House to stop war with Iran got shot in the neck. Well, got killed by something hitting him in the neck. By Israel. Got killed by Israel. So pray for Tucker's safety. Even if you think he's the CIA, he's still the next guy that Israel's going to try to blow up in the neck. And he's doing very important things to try to fucking peacify this whole process and to try to wake people up to what exactly Israel is doing at great personal risk. And yeah, Charlie only went to the White House once to try to stop war with Iran. He did succeed, by the way. There was obviously more involved in his death than just stopping war with Iran. But Israel killed Charlie Kirk in part because of his shifting stance on Israel, his opposition to war with Iran, and probably some really sketchy money stuff with Bibi Netanyahu trying to take Turning Point to the next level. And you look at how all of the Israeli shills on the internet talk about Tucker Carlson today, and it is not good. It is not good. Pray for this man's safety.
To just declare victory and go home. Like you killed an 86-year-old cleric. Let's just call that a win and then pull back. And so then, meantime, he got convinced to denounce me. Okay. I don't care. I'm going to fly up anyway and see him, right? Even though he's like denouncing me. So I call over there to see, call someone who knows him. I said, I'm just going to fly up anyway and tell him this because I think it's so important. And the person says, don't bother because he's being shown polling that this war is like a 90-10 win for him. And I said, I don't know where that polling is coming from. It's like,
it's coming from Israel. It's coming, well, rewind. It's not coming from Israel. It's coming from a bunch of Jews in America. That's the uncomfortable truth. It's coming from a bunch of neocons and Jews and good goy that are all getting paid by Israel that are controlling the president's information space. This is classic espionage. This is treason. If you're putting fake foreign reporting in front of the president's face to control what he thinks, that's treason. And you should be hanged for that. You are directly responsible for the deaths of thousands of civilians in the Middle East, of countless U.S. service members that are dying that we're not being told about, of all of this, and of all the downstream consequences, the economic consequences, etc. Treason.
I guess you could make any kind of poll, and he's watching Fox News, which is telling him the same thing, and he's getting fake polling. I guess they're only polling Sean Hannity's viewers or something.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure that there's a sense, as if this was yesterday, because I was getting so agitated and worried. I don't think that there's a sense that this is unpopular. Like, I think there's an information vacuum here
there's a massive information vacuum, and
it's not an information vacuum. It's a fucking espionage. It's an espionage operation. That is a foreign intelligence operation controlling the mind of our president. That's what it is. It's not like a whoopsie.
Information vacuum or information gap occurs when there is a lack of clear, verified information about a situation, causing speculation, fear, and rumors to fill the void.
That is a different nation infiltrating and controlling the office of the president right in front of our eyes. Wide open. That used to be the CIA's job. It used to be the CIA's job to deceive the president to get us into foreign wars. Now, it's Israel's. And they're a lot better at it than the CIA ever was.
And, you know, for the president and the administration who declared victory based on internet and vibes and podcasts, let's take a survey, shall we, of every podcast that he appeared on, and how do they feel about the Iran conflict?
That's a good idea,
You can look
Sagar.
very clearly for yourself. You can look at a lot of the polling of that same demographic, which they were very excited about. Young men in particular, how are they feeling about this conflict? And, you know, if you were saying 90-10, it's not.
You could look at Charlie Kirk's own fucking poll from before they killed him, and it was 90-10. 90% against war in Iran.
Not even true in the Republican sense. I mean, the latest one that I saw was like 72% Republicans, which, by the way, Mr. President and everybody in the administration, Bush had 93 for Iraq. And how did that turn out for him? So let's not put all of our eggs in the basket of just because Republican voters are here, that this is all going to be like sunshine and roses. And I also would not make the spurious claim that it's all about Iran. It's about compounding effects. The gas price effect of the Iran conflict is going to be dramatically more important to the White House's political chances in the midterms than anything that's actually happening on.
Sorry, I can't talk about the midterms. Don't give a fuck. Fake 90-10.
Compounding effects. Yeah. The principle of achieving massive long-term results through small, consistent actions or decisions over time.
Polling. The revolution has failed.
Has been found.
Yeah, never mind. What revolution?
It doesn't seem accidental. I don't really think they criminalize as if their opinions are crimes. They are literally thought crimes. Yeah. And I've just noticed, because I...
What's up, my fellow thought crimers?
Thought crimes.
What's up, my fellow criminals? How you doing out there, fellow criminals? Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
In George Orwell's 1984, thought crime or crime think is the essential crime of holding, thinking, or expressing unorthodox beliefs that contradict the ruling party's ideology.
We're out here on kicking around thought crimes, apparently. Free speeching. Can't do that no more. No, sir. You're going to have to lock me up. Sorry.
I've been at the center of it, this effort.
You lock me up, Gigi will take over the show, and Gigi will fucking sit here and drop thought crimes on you all day fucking long. If you think I'm bad, you have no idea how anti-Semitic Gigi has become. Gigi's based as fuck, dude. I go down, Gigi takes over, dude. And Gigi goes max.
Over the past year to criminalize attitudes. And when I was first called an anti-Semite, I remember thinking, well, I'm actually not. And so I don't know why you're calling me that. And I was annoyed or whatever, but...
Isn't it cute to look back on Tucker like 4 months ago doing whole shows about how he wasn't an anti-Semite just to like try to defend against the bullshit made up fucking Hasbara? And now it's like, all right, whatever. Let's just talk for real. Who the fuck cares what Hasbara they're going to throw? Doesn't matter. We all see it. We know what it is.
Thank you, Mr. One Boston. Yeah, hit the like button, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We're going live every single day of 2026, trying to find truth and trying to get all that information.
Made up words.
The insistence with which these forces are labeling people with the slander anti-Semite, it doesn't seem accidental. I don't really think they care if you're an anti-Semite or not. I mean, Israel's very close to the Zelensky government, which supports actual Nazis. So, like, they don't care if you're an anti-Semite. This is an effort to set the stage for prosecutions. That's what I'm starting to think. Do you think that's too paranoid?
No, not at all. Well,
No.
first of all, we literally deported people for being critical of Israel. That actually happened already under this government. We are having the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, get involved in campus incidents around so-called anti-Semitism. That
Based Sagar. Fucking based Sagar. 100%. Yes.
is the
0 Epstein arrests, 0 Epstein prosecutions. But don't you fucking criticize God's chosen people.
machine and the groundwork, which could be laid for exactly what you're talking about. But then let's look. We recognize this. If you live through the woke revolution, let's think about the way that this works now with so-called anti-Semitism, as they accuse you. It's all about escalation. So first, you're being defined as an anti-Semite. In more your recent comments, what did they say? That you're trying to incite violence against a specific organization. Incitement of violence is actually a very specific term. So what does that mean? An imminent threat, which means that they want to be able to have an FBI agent come and knock on your door to ask you either to clarify what you're asking about or potentially prosecute you for your alleged comments that are around this. Each one is a step in a ground to make and to lay the groundwork to make it so that such a case could eventually be brought and in an insane time. And when we have, look, we're at the very beginnings of this conflict. Who knows how long it goes? I pray it just ends. But again, all through history, it only usually gets worse whenever it comes to censorship and demands. I mean, already this entire conversation, you and I know, will be branded as anti-Semitic and pro-Iran. These are...
Yeah. And just imagine what it is when Israel rules the world with their AI overlord censorship technology, with their Palantir control grid. Hope y'all are ready. We're going to have a wild party in prison together. It's going to be great. It's going to be fucking great. Oh, cool. They talked about the Pentagon versus Anthropic AI dispute. Shout out to Anthropic.
I mean, will the government find people? Look at the situation with Anthropic and Claude, right? I mean, you have this showdown between the Pentagon and Anthropic over the use of AI, their technology, in a time of war, demands over human oversight. The government's basically saying that's unacceptable. You don't get to dictate those terms to us. They can blacklist you as a company, literally blacklist you for not agreeing to those terms. That's fine. That's their right. But think about that. I mean, they're basically saying that not only are they not going to use the tech, they're not blacklisted from all U.S. government contractors, which is massively, massively impactful to their entire...
Yeah, we got someone making the hoots. We're going to have a good goy party in prison together, homies. Don't you worry about it. Yeah, we'll go down swinging. Don't you worry. We'll still be speaking the truth. Come at me, bro. Prison food is better than kosher food. Well, actually, kosher food is suspiciously not full of poison. You guys been seeing the memes that are going viral now about how all the goy are buying kosher food because they've realized that the kosher food doesn't have all the fucking goy poison in it? That's awkward. People are waking up. The noticing is taking effect. So, huge shout out to Tucker for all of the risks he's taking, the hard work, the based words, the good journalism. Now I think the last thing we're going to watch today is our boy Valhalla dropping in hard on Lindsey Graham.
When do you guys think all this war stuff is going to stop and there's actual peace? How amazing will that be?
Lighten the mood a little bit. Lighten the mood a little bit. It's always good to make fun of Lindsey Graham. In hard times, Lindsey Graham will always provide comedic relief amidst the horror show.
But if Middle Eastern wars aren't your flavor, just like women aren't Lindsey Graham's, maybe you're into Latin America more.
Maduro, everybody talked about him. Well, Donald Trump's got him in jail. Cuba's next. They're going to fall. This communist dictatorship in Cuba, their days are numbered.
Cuba's next. My bad. Didn't realize that we had to go bomb and overthrow the regime in Cuba as well. At least Lindsey's thinking forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lindsey Graham always moving the needle, always pushing the envelope.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And today we're going to talk about Little American Psycho Lindsey Grinder Graham, because yes, Lindsey is everywhere.
Solid nickname.
Everywhere in the news media lately during this conflict. I don't know why. And every time you look around, he's attached to the hip of old...
I'm not saying any of this is a lie or truth or anything, but you guys got to take into consideration how strong AI is now, and to just kind of do a double check to see what actually is happening, if you can.
Trump, it seems like the only person that's got more...
Nate's getting pretty good with the AI, not gonna lie.
More control over foreign policy in this country is this guy. But what has this little closeted neocon lunatic been up to recently? Well, looks like committing treason, as well as advocating for the bombing of about 47 different countries. Because the only thing that gets Lindsey Graham harder than bombing brown people is the Grindr meetup at CPAC. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, helps the channel. Also get a free.
Yeah.
There has been some reporting that it sounds like about 2 weeks ago, before the war kicked off, Donald Trump sent Lindsey Graham to Saudi Arabia to meet with the Crown Prince, MBS, to try and talk him into supporting the war, because it would make sense. Yes, Saudi Arabia, very important, considering right across the Strait of Hormuz is Iran, and they could be highly affected by this war. And it sounds like Saudi Arabia told Lindsey Graham, absolutely fucking not. So where's the treason come in? Well, it sounds like...
Yeah.
Like what Lindsey Graham did was went back to America and Donald Trump and lied and told them, yes, MBS is all on board, which would be literal treason. And then we were told by...
An awful lot of treason going around these days, don't you think?
The administration that Saudi Arabia was all on board. Not only that they were going to enter the conflict alongside us. However, that also turned out to be a fucking lie. This is really what's going on. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE are considering dropping U.S. contracts and ending economic ties with the United States. And that should...
Yeah. Those are our actual allies. Those are the ones that actually let us have military bases in the Middle East. Those are the ones that actually provide critical oil connections to us. Critical dollar supremacy capabilities. Fucking them over real good.
If Saudi Arabia and the UAE drop contracts with the USA, it would trigger major financial, military, and diplomatic disruptions, including a potential withdrawal of billions in investments from US markets, AI, tech, real estate, a massive reduction in US arms purchases, and a shift towards other global powers like some I will not mention.
Should be fantastic for gas prices, because they're also almost $8 a gallon in LA in the first week of the war. Now, you may be wondering, how did we get here? Lindsey Graham used to be a massive never Trumper. Absolutely hated his guts, and now, I mean, you can't get these two apart. Best friends, of course. Well, let's take a little trip down memory lane, and I'll explain to you how we got to where we are now.
What is your reaction to hearing what Donald Trump says?
Disgusted. Well, I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman. And he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party.
A few moments later.
I love that. A few moments later. Just so you guys know, we're going live every single day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any lives, because YouTube sometimes likes to try to hide these lives away from you, like your ex hides their friends away from you.
That Donald Trump, in my opinion, is the gold standard for Republicans, maybe any president. And
Wait, what? Donald Trump doesn't represent my party, and then Donald Trump's the gold standard of my party. How could... Well, let me show you what Trump was saying back when Lindsey hated him.
We should have never got into the Middle East. We should have never got into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days.
A montage of clips showing Trump campaigning against endless wars, slamming Middle East conflicts, and boasting that he will stop World War III. The man of peace.
Of never-ending wars.
We're rebuilding our military stronger than ever before, and we are not going to deplete it again on stupid, senseless, endless wars.
Oh, well, that's right. That was or anti-neocon Donald Trump when Lindsey Graham hated him. But who's the Trump that we have now? Yeah.
The Jewish one. The fucking Jewish one. We've got Jew Trump now. And it ain't going so good for America. Hashtag send Barron. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Times have changed. And since nobody has any idea why we're even in this war to begin with, at least Lindsey should be able to explain it to us.
It's a religious war. Who wins it at the end of the day? Do the radical Islamic terrorists who want to kill all the Jews because God told them to? Who want to kill me because I'm an infidel?
Oh, it's...
Because you're gay?
It's a religious war. It's a holy war. Because I thought that it was, we were maybe supposed to be stopping their ambitions that they don't even have anymore, so, right? Because they're obliterated. Or, it's the ballistic missiles, or even, like funding terrorist proxies. But no, they just let the cat out of the bag. Just told the truth. It's a religious war. Great. And
Renaman Veloba 5200. Most of our oil come from the U.S., Mexico, and Venezuela, South America mainly. Interesting.
When Lindsey's got some time off of his main hobby and his main career, which is hanging out at the local men's bathhouse, he also, again, is advocating for bombing.
Allegedly, the majority of oil used in USA is produced domestically, roughly 60% or more, with Texas being the largest producer by a wide margin, contributing by over 40% of the U.S. crude oil. When importing, Canada is the largest foreign source, providing 50 to 60% of total U.S. oil imports.
Literally everyone.
So I'm calling on President Trump today. Join Israel to attack Hezbollah. Avenge the Marines. America never forgets. Those 220 Marines and 18 sailors' families.
Dude, you know what the best reality TV show ever would be? Like, drop Lindsey Graham in the middle of nowhere in the Middle East with nothing but the clothes on his back, and then just follow him around with cameras. Actually, that'd probably get pretty dark pretty fast. I don't think I'd want to watch that now that I'm thinking it through.
Chat, can you let me know what's going on with Lindsey Graham? What's happening? What's he getting so much hate for?
Yeah. It might get one good episode before it goes off air. But it would be less than what he deserves. It'd be homo and afraid.
We want to go after the infrastructure that killed your loved ones.
We got to bomb Lebanon now. Oh, okay. And you may be a little bit confused when you hear 200 and something dead Marines. I didn't hear an announcement on that. Well, yeah, that's because he's talking about this. So, okay, we're basing our foreign policy off things that happened nearly half a decade ago. Okay. But if...
Well, he is like 80 fucking years old, so I mean...
Middle Eastern wars aren't your flavor, just like women aren't Lindsey Graham's. Maybe you're into
I want to see those cute, sweaty, anorexic little Iranian boys just take it all.
Latin America more.
Maduro, everybody talked about him. Well, Donald Trump's got him in jail. Cuba's next. They're going to fall. This communist dictatorship in Cuba, their days are numbered.
Depends on bills. As you can see, Liberty score here for old Lindsey, 43% F. 60% of the time, he votes against conservative values. And again, to my point, he is now the face of MAGA.
Does not align with Christian values. Killing children, killing mothers,
I'll be honest
killing
with you.
families who are not militants.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all.
Why?
Because what did we do in World War II? Did we think 1 minute about starving the Germans? Did we bomb every city to smithereens? To the world. If you don't understand this is...
One of the most demonic things that's been said into camera in the last year, and that's like a really high bar. This is such a fucked up interview to look at his fucking face and to look him in the eyes. Look at how much can I say that on camera? Imagine what he must do with his free time when only Israeli cameras are rolling in order to sustain this much demonic energy inside of his soul.
It's a threat to Israel.
And then they
survival.
flattened.
Just flatten it. We flattened Berlin. We flattened Tokyo.
Okay, total lunatic. And you may be wondering, well, why was Senator Lindsey Graham ever even sent to Saudi Arabia to discuss war plans to begin with? He's not the Secretary of State. He's not an ambassador. He's not the Secretary of Defense. He's just a senator from South Carolina. You'd think he'd be more focused on what's going on in his own state, because South Carolina is...
His state is Israel, and he's very focused on it. He's extremely focused on it.
Not doing well. And it turns out that Lindsey says, I come here every 2 weeks. Lindsey Graham on our greatest ally, while South Carolina ranks 42nd nationally in education, healthcare, and child well-being. So really looking after.
Yeah, how's those fucking hurricane repairs and relief going? They literally are still trying to rebuild their own shit. And he's over in Israel.
His own people well. Oh, South Carolina, not sure what you're doing. Might want to figure that out. We'll talk about that in a minute. But again, Lindsey Graham trying to bring upon World War III. We've all seen that. And I think there's been some really great takes about if we really wanted to bring in world peace, this is probably how we'd have to do it.
The only way that we will actually achieve lasting world peace is if Lindsey Graham finally comes out. If he finds a husband, gets a small little yappy dog, and lives out the rest of his days on a big front porch in Charleston sipping sweet tea.
I like not Daily Wire Brett Cooper a lot more. Keep it going, Brett. Yeah. Free Brett. Fuck yeah, dude. It's crazy how leaving the Daily Wire can make you 1,000 times better in every way. Matt Walsh, you should try it. You fucking cuck.
And staying out of our business.
Wow. Brett Cooper based AF, huh? Please, Lindsey, just come out the closet. And honestly, if we could tie these two together, let them retire together in South Carolina, a nice plantation where they can sit on the porch and sip.
Nah, let's try them both for treason. Let's try BB for war crimes, Lindsey for treason. Let's not let them just have the gay ending to the movie. Let's not do that.
Sweet tea together. At least maybe the world wouldn't be in flames. Let's see what old Lindsey's own co-workers have to say about him.
You next, ma'am. Go ahead, brother.
Senator Lindsey Graham is now calling for the U.S. to start bombing.
So just to make a comment about William Dawson, Y3H, allegedly some of the context for that criticism is that some Democrats neglect core voters. They have criticism that the party focuses too much on identity politics rather than treating kitchen table issues like poverty and cost of living, the things that matter to working class voters. Thank you for the comment, buddy.
Lebanon in response to the Hezbollah IDF action.
Lindsey hadn't seen a fist fight he hasn't wanted to turn into a bombing raid, so I just take it with a grain of salt, dude. Yep.
However, we probably should take him seriously because, again, he is the one that is actually telling Donald Trump what to do with this war. Absolute insanity. And so what can we do about it? Well, South Carolina, it's your time.
Yeah. There's reporting coming out now that Lindsey Graham actually gave BB Lindsey Graham advised Netanyahu. Let me see if I can pull up this article. These are the kinds of headlines that are going around now. As of yesterday, Lindsey Graham brags about colluding with Netanyahu to manipulate Trump into war with Iran. Seemingly bragged about colluding with Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu to manipulate President Trump into bombing Iran. According to Graham, he spent months...
He's bragging about that? Man, come on. Lindsey Graham.
Months lobbying, holding private conversations with foreign leaders, and coordinating media pushes to persuade the president to authorize strikes against Iran. I mean, tell us something we didn't know. Graham told the Wall Street Journal that the campaign started just after Trump won the 2024 presidential election when the two went golfing. That's fucking treason. That's treason. Actually. And I hope that he gets everything that he fucking deserves. All of it.
How you doing, Maureen?
So,
to the row 1980. Welcome to the chat. Thanks
that is the status of America.
Yeah, Renaman Velova 5200. Isn't there a rumor Lindsay has a tail? I do not know, but I heard some people actually do have one.
America of war with Iran. That's pretty much where we're at. And it ain't good. Are you feeling how great America is, chat? Is America feeling great again to you? You feeling good about it? United we stand. Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much. So let's wrap this puppy up with a brief hype track, a brief shout out. The web is on its way. If you don't know, me and my boys made an app that lets you read through all of the Epstein files with the power of AI, so you can just search in natural language and have
wild. This is so wild.
It decoded with sources, with original documentation, the entire Epstein compilation. We are also adding currently the 9/11 files, the Dancing Israeli files, the DEA report, all of it. All that's going to be searchable in the exact same way. We also are adding document upload capability so that you can upload your own documents to web and do your own investigations into whatever it is you want to learn about, whatever you want to organize, whatever you want the power of web to apply to, you got it. It is currently turned off for the weekend. We're getting it ready for public launch next week. I am so freaking stoked. And I used it with back-end plugins that I've got to build an entire Epstein tracker of almost every day of his life, day by day, recording his travels, documented in his own files, his own emails, his own schedules and reports from Lindsey Groff and stuff like that, his flight logs, etc. Tracking him all around the world, everywhere that he was,
How wild is it that a civilian has access to all of these things, man? This is so wild.
Single day. It's fucking sick. And we're going to try to plug that in and make that available too to the public. Because it doesn't just make a really sick intro to the live stream, it also makes a really sick tool for decoding Epstein. So, web is on its way. Super stoked. Thanks to all the beta testers. We had free beta testing going for like 2 weeks, and everybody crushed it. It was so cool to get everybody's feedback, to kind of test it slowly, building, and now it's like impenetrable and ready for the masses. It's ready for just mass use. Super stoked. So stoked for the team. Really proud of all the hard work they did. Cannot wait for that to come back out for everybody publicly. Also, I'd be remiss to not mention that this is the same team that brought you the Buyer app. If you don't know, the Buyer app is a free download that me and my team made. You can get it off the App Store, Google Play Store, scan any item in the grocery store and find out who owns it, what company owns it. Are you supporting a company that's owned by BlackRock, or are you supporting a family and founder-owned business? And you can use it to do whatever you want. We're not telling you how to use it. We're just giving you the information. Personally, I use it to help find more family and founder-owned businesses to support, so that my money is supporting American companies, local companies, founder-owned companies, instead of shoveling money off into the corporate coffers of the bankers. The people that run the world. So, shout out to Buyer app. Download it for free on the App Store or the Google Play Store. Brought to you by the same team of just me and 3 homies that are bringing you web coming at you this week. And I've just been playing around, vibe coding up a storm, making the Jeffrey Epstein tracker while I wait. And oh boy, has it kept me busy, and have I had fun with that. That's all of the sponsors we got. They're all just me. I don't take any ads. I don't take any sponsors. I don't take any financial support from outside like companies or NGOs or agencies or anything. It's literally just me and Gigi and a couple homies, and we're just vibe coding up. Well, I'm vibe coding up a storm over here while I wait for my actual developer homies to actually produce the real shit.
How many of y'all have tried vibe coding? It seems like a really cool thing. And speaking of, just so you guys know, we're going live every single day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Share if you want. Usually, the format of this is we go over a new word, a definition, 10 quotes, then 10 live examples of the quotes. We react to videos. And yeah, we're trying to grow our Facebook so we can go live on Facebook. I'll send a link right now as well. And thank y'all so much for being a part of this. This has been a lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully we can find a way to create peace on Earth. And that would be great, because all of these issues are very, very taxing. And yeah, it'd be better if we can find peace.
So that's what I got for you. Thank you for your support, and thanks for tuning in. It means the world. Feel free to clip it. Feel free to share it. Feel free to spread it around. Spread the truth. Wake people up. Wake people the fuck.
That's really cool that he's open to like having his followers like clip his things too. So yeah, if anyone wants to clip any of these clips, feel free. Thank you.
Because they need to know now what's really going on. They need to know the truth about 9/11. They need to know the truth about the Iran war. They need to know the truth about Jeffrey Epstein, and they need it with primary sources. They need it with documentation. They need to be able to look into it for themselves and understand it for themselves and get outside of the Hasbara propaganda matrix narrative that has been spun for decades and decades and decades, for our entire lives, really. So, while speech is still legal, we're going to be doing it. So if you're not already subscribed, subscribe on Kick or Twitch, wherever you are. Kick is where we do most of our homie shows. I'll probably be clipping this and putting it out on YouTube as well. Make sure you have the bell clicked for notifications so that you don't miss the live streams, because I don't really announce them. I don't really plan them out. I just go live when I got shit to talk about. And today is Sunday, March 8th. I'm actually moving locations again this week. So there'll be a bit of a break this week while I get set up again, and we will be back for Free Speech Friday. I might get one more live stream in before I have to go, but it's going to be a big move this time. I got to pack the van real tight and leave space for Gigi to have a couch. So if you don't see me, you'll at least see me for Free Speech Friday, and hopefully we will have web all good to go and launched for you. I cannot wait. Sounds like Baron is about to go live. Baron Coleman has been dropping the fucking fire. Baron and Candace have been blasting through the Charlie Kirk investigation, blasting on Erica's really mysterious past. And I've been following along, even though I've been working on this other stuff, doing this other reporting. Baron and Candace have been crushing it, and I've been keeping up and taking notes. So I'll probably be over there in the Baron chat watching along with you guys. Huge shout out to Baron. No, Baron Coleman, guys. Baron Coleman, not Baron Trump. Come on. Baron Coleman. Scheduled, apparently, for right now. So if you don't know about Baron Coleman, get on over to the Baron Coleman YouTube channel. Scheduled for 5 o'clock p.m. in 24 minutes. Lying Liars Who Lie at Real Baron Podcast on YouTube. It's going to be a banger, as always. And that is going to do it for tonight. Thanks for being here. And thanks for the support. Don't forget to drink some water. Do something nice for someone. Tell them you love them. Be a good person. And fuck Israel.
Conspiracy theory. All right. I don't know if I can agree with everything that gentleman says, but it's very interesting just to see his perspective and what he's discovering, you know. But yeah, just want to say the Lord loves you, I love you, your family loves you, your friend loves you. So go out there, try to do something amazing with your life and with your time, and try not to let these things get you down, and find peace, find your passions, continue to work on the things that you're good at and that you enjoy. And we're going live every single day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. And until next time,